talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Helping business owners to work better and live better. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With your headlines at 1 minute past 10, I'm Nick Ellaby. Good morning. Pep Guardiola insists Man City are still alive despite a 6-point gap to Arsenal at the top. But Thomas Frank doesn't think Spurs are in this title race despite going third.
We're happy with a lot of things, as I said, defensive side of it, mentality, set pieces, but I think there's a bit we need to work on, especially offensively.
David Moyes says Everton have offensive worries of their own after their 3-0 defeat to Spurs, specifically Beto and Barry's lack of goals.
Quite often as a striker, we might not always be getting it, but you've got to find a way of getting a goal yourself. That's your job, and we'll keep encouraging them, but we need them to do better.
Meanwhile, Vitor Pereira's told us a couple of victories changes everything for winless Wolves. He responded to chants of sacked in the morning by confronting fans at Molineux after the defeat to Burnley. Now, Rangers royalty Ali McCoist is tipping Hearts to end the 40-year-old firm stranglehold. Here's why Derek McInnes' team can win the title.
The centre-back pairing are as solid, I think, and as good as anything in the league. Up front, Lon Shanklin, who incidentally, I'll throw it in just to upset everybody. If Rangers had signed him, I think a year and a half ago, they'd have won the league. That's my opinion.
Hearts are 8 points clear after the win over Celtic. More on this coming up in the show, no doubt. And now it's official. The injured Pat Cummins will miss the first Ashes test. Here's Australia head coach Andrew McDonald.
We've run out of time. We sort of flagged this a week or so ago that it would take sort of 4+ weeks to get him up and running, and we've run out of time, unfortunately, but really optimistic and hopeful for the second test match.
Sandpaper at the ready. Steve Smith will captain Australia in Perth in just over 3 weeks' time. Loads of Ashes build up on talkSPORT's cricket YouTube channel.
talkSPORT News.
Prisons in England and Wales are expected to begin enhanced checks before inmates are released, and the government's been told it needs to get a grip on the asylum accommodation system. There's more from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, where we've got more premium tyres than the number of times you'll hear, "Ooh, it's a bit nippy this winter." Book today at quickfit.com.
Sunny spells and scattered showers through the morning, turning dry by this afternoon for most of us. A breezy day, but rain moving into western areas later in the afternoon.
Good morning, everybody. You're listening to Jim White, Martin Keown and Martin O'Neill, and we're all live on talkSPORT. So, defeat for Liverpool and Manchester City sees Arsenal move clear at the Premier League summit. Is this turning into their title to lose? Meantime, how has it turned so toxic so quickly at Wolves? Also today, can Fabio Wardley do what no other Brit has done? Topple Alexander Usyk. Are we witnessing the league of the set piece? Hearts as Scottish champions? Is this really on? Is Amorim about to prove a lot of people wrong? And can Sunderland dream bigger than just survival? It's Jim White, Martin Keown and Martin O'Neill, and we're all live on talkSPORT.
100% engagement. Jim White and Simon Jordan on talkSPORT.
Now, before I forget, Martin O'Neill, Martin Keown, good morning. Simon Jordan and I, Simon's way out to Spain, Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Martin 1 and 2. I don't know who's 1 and who's 2, but anyway, he's away to Spain for a few days. We were guests of Frank Warren at the boxing on Saturday night, Martin, and I'm delighted to say, and Jordan was furious, that I had a better seat than him.
Did you?
I was closer to the action than him. And that seriously peed him off, but it was great. Simon, if you're listening, good morning. Could you really see it from that far away? I'm joking. The seats were amazing, and it was quite a night. It was quite a night, and you were watching some of the highlights just before we came on air, Martin Keown. Fabio Wardley did it.
Yeah, he did. I mean, the last fight he was in, it looked like he might lose, and it was a slugfest, wasn't it? Either man could have won.
Brutal.
I think that sharpness of punch, he just like slightly lighter man.
Yeah.
In the end, I think he just took too much punishment.
Oh, it was an amazing night, man. Really. Before I forget, you've been away with your old chum Patrick
I was
Vieira.
in Genoa last weekend, went over to watch, spending some time with Patrick. They're struggling a little bit at the moment, second from bottom of the table. It was it's a difficult time, so being a bit supportive. Everything's so tight out there. Everybody playing with what seems a back five.
Yeah.
Just the odd goal in every match. They lost at the weekend, so more pressure on him. But he's still a great man.
Oh, yeah.
And still trying to play football.
Good stuff. Meantime, Martin O'Neill has been in the stage. Where in Dublin did I hear you tell producer Luke?
That was a couple of weeks ago. I was in Dublin. I've been all over the place at this minute, I must admit. I've had this book out called The Changing Game, which I was asked to write because I've been 50 years in the game, and the changes that would take place, and your own views of, what you think is good about the game, what you think is can be improved, and the things that you thought were great in the 70s and 80s, but maybe don't look so good now.
Anything about set pieces?
Well, strangely enough, there was it's the set piece. I know it seems to come into vogue now, but it was always there.
Yeah.
It was there 50 years ago.
Changed, has it? So did Martin O'Neill, the manager, come up against Martin Keown, the player?
Ooh, of course we did.
We would have done. Yeah,
you wouldn't have remembered because you had your eye on Bergkamp and Henry and such.
That's true.
Like.
You mean to sign them?
No, just because they were the eye-catching players.
Of course, yeah.
I was the sort of bread and butter player.
You were very much that.
I thought I'd set the tone for you.
7 minutes past 10. O'Neill gets one in early. Yeah, no, terrific. Listen, we're going to have a lot of fun, and Simon, enjoy your few days off, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Guys, on Thursday night, just before I forget, I was up in the city, not far from here at London Bridge. I was quizmaster at the H.W. Fisher Accountant Sports Quiz. These things, they get so, honestly, so serious. Sports quizzes, Martin. Oh, yeah. They arrive, they're everybody else's best pals. They all got on well, they all work together, but they all want to beat each other.
Of course.
Oh my God, chaos at the end, but it was a great night. And at the boxing, incidentally, thanks to Kieran Slicker, Barnet goalkeeper, sitting beside him, and Liam Delap of Chelsea. You're going to hear from Liam later on in the show. Really enjoyed your company. Anyway, let's get to it. Martin Keown, you will be absolutely fit to be tied this morning because your Arsenal are looking great, are they not? Arsenal beat Palace thanks to an Eze goal, and the Gunners are now 6 points clear of City in fourth and 7 clear of Liverpool in sixth. Is this race turning into Arsenal's to lose?
No, that's not the narrative for me. We're 9 games in. If we're 29 games in, then yes, of course, we've got a different conversation if Arsenal are still staying in front of them. This can all swing round pretty quickly. I mean, I've been quite astonished at Liverpool, the number of games they've lost recently, 4 out of 5 matches. They've got a newness about them, so they're all trying to settle in. I'm not sure they're stronger this year. I certainly don't think they are. I think they're probably weaker. They may be long-term stronger, so Arsenal just need to keep doing what they're doing, keep enjoying it. I was at the game at the weekend. It was Palace were really difficult. So they're very streetwise. Everybody knows their jobs, roles, responsibility. They play a 5, as we know, but they're very secure. So Arsenal, Eze finding that, it seems that at the moment, it feels very different for the Arsenal fans. It feels deep down that, look, this could be Arsenal's year, but there's such a long way to go. There's no real doubts. You just felt a different atmosphere.
There's no real doubts.
There's no doubts anymore, but you still got to go and do it, and you're only 9 games into the season.
Yeah. Martin O'Neill, I'm going to hear from you in a second on Martin Keown's Arsenal, but certainly it is looking good. Arteta, upbeat, of course, post-match.
I fully agree with you. I just thought to the boys that probably I value more this victory than any other victory this season, because we knew the difficulty of it. You come after playing every 3 days. You have a big opportunity as well with the things that happened during this weekend. And I knew, we play against a team that, in my opinion, has been one of the best recently in terms of organization, how difficult they made it, how frustrated they can make you. And the moment that you lose that concentration, they will punish you for sure. And we have managed to be very stable, playing the game that we have to play. In the first half, a bit stuck. We find a way to score the goal. In the second one, we attacked better and we were more fluent. But with 1-0, we knew that we had to suffer because a team that has to score goals to any other opponent this season. So to keep the clean sheet again was very, very important.
So Arsenal enjoying life at the Summit at the moment. Martin O'Neill, I mean, when you look at it, City stuttering, Liverpool more than stuttering, Bournemouth second at the moment, Tottenham third, Sunderland fourth. I'll ask you, is it Arsenal's title to lose?
Well, like Martin, I always hate that phrase when you something to lose, particularly if you think that you're in a great position, and the next thing you know is that you, if you lose it, you bottled it. They're very strong. Arsenal are very, very strong, physically very strong. Score a lot of goals from set pieces. Also have the ability to score goals from open play as well. Defensively, conceding very, very few goals. So they are at this minute really strong. Have been since the start of the season, and they are a fine side, a really good team.
I mean, I know you're reluctant to go too hard or too strong too soon, but Martin, there ain't much to grumble about, is there? I mean, if they simply keep this going.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at how solid they are, that's the most impressive thing. People, these shutouts from teams, I mean, people aren't even getting, I think it's one shot on target in the last 3 matches from the opposition, never mind any goals conceded, Jim. I mean, it's 6 clean sheets, I think, this season so far. You know, this is like now going to the next level, which they needed to do. But it's just because it's so early in the season, you know, it does give you that extra confidence when you see your other rivals. You know, it's like I don't know if, Martin, you ever experienced this when it's like a tug of war when you're up against other teams and you're pulling on that rope, and when they lose, the rope starts coming your way, and then you get that momentum, and it's like, I've got a grip of this, I'm not going to let go. But when it goes the other way, it's hard to arrest it. You know, Liverpool now, it's becoming a bit of a habit, losing matches. They've lost that little bit of aura. Arsenal haven't lost that. It's growing, Jim, but it's still very new. I mean, I was really impressed with the likes of Timber at right back. I think he's absolutely magnificent. I know we could concentrate on the 2 central defenders, but I think we've got to look at the structure defensively, the whole lot. Supermendy and Rice, they're covering a lot of territory in that team. And Eze now is also giving Arsenal something, Jim. That game change.
There's Daniel Dean, who's all over you, this listener. Good morning, Jim. Martin Keown doesn't dare commit himself to it because they are so used to failing. This league is Arsenal's to lose, and that's 100% a fact.
Was it Liverpool's to lose a month ago? No, it wasn't. When you're a champ, you don't think about losing. You know, Arsenal don't own or have won anything really in the last 5 years other than the FA Cup. So it's not theirs to lose. No, this is just terminology. I don't want to make it an expletive, but you know, Arsenal just need to keep enjoying what they're doing. We don't turn it into a negative. Why is it about suddenly them throwing something away? It's just enjoy the momentum.
And why is it a negative to say it's theirs to lose? It's a matter of fact.
Because it simply is. You're just a play on words. It's just, you know, they're not thinking about losing. They're thinking about winning.
Yeah.
You win the next tackle, the next header, the next match. You go from match to match. And that's what Arsenal will do. They've got a home match against Brighton coming up and then 3 away games. There's a catalogue of matches. They need people back. Havertz, Jesus, all these guys, Ødegaard, are injured. But it's the work they've done in the transfer market makes them super strong now to get through these difficult fixtures.
I mean, just 3 goals conceded, Martin O'Neill, this season in the league. They've kept 10 clean sheets from 13 in all competition. That's got a hell of a lot to do with it.
Of course it has, yeah. I mean, my old manager, Brian Clough, used to say, keep a clean sheet, son, and then you've got a good chance of getting a result, which you obviously would do. But they've been very strong. I agree with Martin. I think those are just sort of throwaway lines for people to talk about if they did eventually finish second or something like that. So I'm with it. There's nearly 29 games still left or something like that there in the league, 30 games.
Yeah, of course.
You want.
I mean, this is your territory, Martin Keown. Terry Carvalho, Van Dijk, Konate, Ferdinand, Vidic. You and Tony Adams, thou shall not pass. You look at Gabriel and Saliba. I mean, are they fast becoming the Premier League's best centre-back partnership?
They're certainly up there. And I just want to see some trophies around them. And, you know, maybe we talk again in 20-odd games from now. They've got to keep doing it. But, I mean, what they're doing from set pieces and goal involvements as a central defender, I mean, Gabriel, Saliba sits on the keeper, and that's important because this sort of contact with the keeper takes him out of the equation. And that's really important as well. Everyone knows their role at set pieces, but Gabriel is the one who's putting the ball in the back of the net. And it's quite, everybody knows. You know, it's like in a different context. It's like Messi when he gets the ball. We all knew what he could do. Well, why can't we stop Gabriel? Because he's very, very good he's very powerful, tenacious. They keep finding a different routine, Jim. They're spending hours, obviously, working on this. So it's really interesting how that the game's changing a little bit in terms of the number of goals people see.
Should you not think that the opposition should look at to see what they've been doing? And why can they not stop this?
Yeah, but I think there's a copycat situation. If you look at what's going on with Spurs now, they look very good at set pieces. Brentford, the long throw in is coming in. We're going to talk about it a bit later.
We will.
Yeah, it's because they can't stop it because they do it so well, Martin. That's what it is.
I think they've learned over the years. Do you remember a time, or was it the opening game of the season some years ago, where Arsenal under Arteta went to Brentford and got absolutely mauled from set pieces?
Yeah.
Got mauled.
Lost a couple.
And I think that's. And I know he was saying something that he's been thinking about this here for 10 years. I think it's a moot point, that, to tell you the truth. I think that people think about it. I thought about set pieces 15 minutes into my playing career, and that was 50 years ago. So listen, seriously, it's there. It's part of the game.
Exactly.
You have to try and deal with it if you're opposition, and you can use it if you're the opposition.
Maybe Martin O'Neill and Martin Keown, more importantly, cautious to a large degree about Arsenal as things stand at the moment. Let's put it out there to Arsenal fans. Are you as cautious as they are? I'll put it to you. Is it Arsenal's title to lose? Because Arsenal are flying at the moment in the box seat. Liverpool stuttering, so too City. Arsenal, can you see them? Can you see them further down the line throwing this away? Give me a call on this morning. I'd love the odd Arsenal fan to come on and say, you bet we're going to win it. Why not? Bit of positivity this Monday morning. 03717 223344 81089. all the messages coming in. A lot of mind games going on this Monday morning. There's Tony, a Liverpool fan. Keep pushing Arsenal, Jim. It's great. It'll be hilarious when they choke it, as they will do. We'll see where that goes. Martin Keown and Martin O'Neill in studio with me this morning. We're going to get to Liverpool shortly because Jimmy Carragher, speaking on Liverpool over the weekend, I don't think they've got enough physicality to see the champions lose 4 in a row with the expenditure in the summer. I think it's crisis time. Crisis time, says Jimmy Carragher. We're going to get to that. We'll hear from Slot in a moment, but we're going to hear from you because Arsenal fans calling in big numbers, and I knew you would. Good morning to all of you. 03717 223344. Arsenal top of the shop. Is it going to look that way come May? Is it yours to lose? And I use that phrase and I won't stop losing it. Is it yours to throw away from this point onwards? In a commanding position, looking great. So what's going to stop you? Ricky, good morning, big Arsenal fan. What's going to stop you?
Morning, Jim. Morning, Martin. Morning, Martin. You all right?
Good morning.
Morning, Ricky. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Look, I think Arsenal they look unbelievably solid. Like is brilliant. And I think Eze was probably I think he'll be the difference this season. It's weird because when Saka ever got injured or if Odegaard ever got injured, I'd be really, really worried. And now I'm not. The only thing I'd say, I think Gyökeres, don't get me wrong, his work rate is brilliant. I don't think he seems quick enough for the Premier League. But then obviously you can look at Harry Kane, he's not quick and he was. But I don't know. I don't want to be too hard on him because he's working hard. But I think Arsenal, the depth they've got now, they've never had that before. If Odegaard got injured, we used to worry. Or if Saka was injured, we used to worry.
Right,
I'm
but not now.
anymore.
So are you willing to go where Martin Keown won't go? Is it yours? Is it yours now? Is it looking good for you?
Is Arsenal to throw away 100%? I think Arteta said it was a 5-year plan, 5-year project.
Yeah.
If they don't do it this season,
Vicky, you don't fall into the trap, fella. Don't fall into the trap. It's Arsenal's to win. It's not Arsenal's to lose. Look, I can't sit here any longer and take this from Jim. Look, you're playing games.
Same thing.
No. It's go and win it. Go and win it. Enjoy winning it.
That's fair enough. It's Arsenal's to win, and they need to win it, and they should win it. That's what I'm saying.
There we go. Well said, Ricky.
Yeah, but if you say that after 29 games, I'm in your corner. But we're only 9 games in.
That's right. So what do we do between now and then? Wait and wonder? I don't think so. That's why we're speculating. It's our job to do that. Ibra, big Arsenal fan. Where are you with this? I mean, do you have a good feeling that this is very much on?
Definitely. It's ours, not just the Premier League, but the Champions League as well.
Go on.
We can't, when was the last time somebody beat Atletico Madrid the way we beat them?
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. And the previous caller hit the nail on the head. We've got such a vast amount of players. I mean, we haven't even had Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, and Odegaard's been missing in and out of the team. So, honestly, our defence is solid. And I know, Martin, you're a legend. Both Martins are legends, in my view. Okay? But you're saying it's not ours to lose. But we can only throw it away from here. We're 4 points clear above Liverpool and 6 or 7 clear of Man City. I mean, we don't concede goals.
Yes.
When people say, you're a set-piece team, you're a set-piece team. Like Martin O'Neill hit the nail on the head earlier by saying, it's always been in the game. Set-pieces are part of the game.
Ibra, brilliant.
Make the most of it.
Absolutely.
Why not?
You're saying, Ibra, what Martin Keown's too much of a pussy not to say. I mean, aren't you? He's in there and he's saying it. He's putting it out there.
Yeah, but he has a different narrative to what I'm looking at. We're just a month ago, Liverpool were 5 points clear, and now they're 7 behind. So, what on earth's going on? We're just 9 games into the season. Let's just get on with it.
You've conceded 3 goals this season in the league.
Yeah, but the first
You're telling us how important
the very
that
first
is.
game of the
10
season,
clean sheets, 13 match. I mean, I'm amazed
Teams.
there's not much more out there saying, I am thinking this is on.
Because what they need to do is that competition from within. They have to stay really keen on this, and no one gets carried away, and you don't get above yourself, and you keep winning games of football. That's what they've got to do, Jim. So in the media, look, I would just tell people to be cautious. Yes, we're pleased.
If there is a weakness, where is it?
I don't see there as a weakness, Jim.
There you go.
I'd rather look at the strengths. I'd rather look at like we look at Super Mendy. I don't hear anyone talking about him in the way that they should be. The guy's running the show in midfield. One of the best signings in Europe. I don't see too many better than him. I like what they've done at Sunderland with Xhaka, by the way. I'm just making little comparisons to other players looking at other clubs, because it's not just about Arsenal. There's lots of other teams, Jim, Sunderland, Bournemouth, doing extremely well. Get stuck on the Arsenal topic. But, you know, Arsenal looking really good. Trossard.
Looking really good. We're almost into November. You're saying they don't have a weakness. You say Zubimendi, yeah, great. The two at the back, yeah. A squad that is great depth and built for success. But you're not prepared to say
it's a team
to lose or win.
It's a team ready to win, but it hasn't won anything. So let's just go from game to game. Keep a lid on it.
Jim, if you say it often enough, I'll start believing it myself, you know. That.
I mean, you guys are Martin, in all seriousness, you are the football experts. When you look at Arsenal right now, I mean, I'm looking at them right now, and I think, yeah. I find it virtually impossible to think that Arsenal are not going to win this thing.
It is difficult from a position there to think that they could lose. The reason being, and I think the callers mentioned this, is that their strength and depth is incredible. Really incredible. You know, they've got Madueke's out of the side, has been missing from the team, or whether he'll ever get back in again. But Saka's a great player, I think. But they've been able to withstand these injuries. And where I think that a couple of seasons ago they couldn't have done that. Here they are very, very strong. And I think all teams pick up injuries, but I think of all the sides in the Premier League, they're the ones that seemingly look as if that they can withstand these injuries and still be very, very strong.
They are magnificent right now, Arsenal. And at the moment, I find it hard to see past them. I really do. Having, like everybody else, many others at the start of the season thought Liverpool. And I was in that category, Martin O'Neill.
Yeah,
I actually said to producer Luke, I wonder if Liverpool will lose a league game.
No.
I did. Because Murphy told us they've got Florian Wirtz.
Yeah.
With that, that's
yeah.
But Jim, what they
need to win the thing.
They haven't got
Isak.
I don't disagree. Absolutely. They have a number of players there. You'd have thought this is what they need. If they're going to open up defences, these boys can do it single-handedly. Wirtz has been really disappointing since he set foot in the place. You're still hoping that he can come through because he's a talented player.
Sure.
But you're right. You're absolutely right.
We'll talk Liverpool, of course we will, in the next breath. We're going to take a break at 10:30. When we come back, Bournemouth not lost, and that's what you're doing. Similarly, Sunderland. That to me was the result of the weekend. Sunderland go to Chelsea and win. Unbelievable. It's a Monday morning, the 27th of October. Jim White, Martin Keown and Martin O'Neill, and we're live in talkSPORT.
the big question today, can Hearts break a 40-year-old firm stranglehold on the Scottish Premiership title? Rangers legend Ali McCoist has given his verdict.
Yes.
Hearts are 8 points clear after a convincing win over Celtic. Elsewhere, there's plenty of talk about Arsenal's title credentials south of the border. But what about Spurs in third? Could they win the league under Thomas Frank?
No. There's a few teams that are ahead of us. I think it's fair to say that. I'm only thinking of one game at a time, and let's see where we are in April.
His side are still unbeaten away from home following a 3-0 win at Everton, while Beto and Tierno Barry are struggling to find the back of the net for the Toffees. Here's David Moyes.
I think as managers we want to give our players encouragement. We want to make sure that we are incredibly supportive, but ultimately you're here to score the goals if you wear number 9.
Vitor Pereira says winless Wolves just need 3 points from somewhere to change the vibes at Molineux. The boss confronted fans as they chanted "sacked in the morning" after their loss to Burnley. And Cricket Australia has confirmed their skipper Pat Cummins is out of the first Ashes test with a back problem. Steve Smith will captain the Aussies in Perth in 3.5 weeks' time. And there's loads more Ashes build-up on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel.
Certainly this Monday morning in the world of boxing, the big question is what and who is next for Fabio Wardley after Fabio recorded that incredible 11th round stoppage win over Joseph Parker at the O2 on Saturday night. I was there. Frank Warren's going to be joining us shortly. Of course, Fabio Wardley's promoter, and he's going to tell us what might be next. I spoke to Igis Klimas last night over in the US, who is the manager of Alexander Usyk, and they're not overly excited at the prospect of fighting Wardley, with all due respect. Anyway, we'll get to that. And Liam, got into the O2. I met you on Saturday night and your two mates. You were going to a music event. I was going to the boxing, but thanks for your lovely comments about the show. And of course, Mr. Simon Jordan, who's over in Spain this morning. As a result, the two Martins are with me, and I'm thrilled about that. Martin Keown and Martin O'Neill, live in studio all the way through until 1 o'clock, and a lot for us to get through. Liverpool lose again. They lose again. 3-2 at Brentford. Incidentally, Martin O'Neill, Keith Andrews, I mean, come on.
Doing great.
Come on.
Some fantastic efforts. Really, really great result. And a couple of brilliant results as well, too. So,
yeah,
well done him.
Well done him.
He lost some important players as well. I would like to emphasise the importance of Henderson in that midfield, where a lot of people thought maybe he was at the end of his career. Sade, exceptionally quick, over the top. Damsgaard, really good player, Jim. Thiago, when he came to the club, he had a lot of injuries. Now he's really doing it for them. As a manager, without really any recognised experience, he's been sort of number two for a little while. He was in charge of set pieces or something for a while. It's quite remarkable.
Well done to Keith. Keith and Brentford going great guns. We'll speak to Keith at some stage soon. I remember having various conversations with him in my time at Sky. He's a great guy, and it's looking good for Brentford. Not so for Liverpool. What is going on? Is their title defence faltering? Is it all but dead? I mean, that's where we're at as we approach November. Is it all but dead? No one could have expected this. Liverpool faced a fourth consecutive league defeat 3-2 at Brentford. Having only lost 4 of their previous 43, Liverpool have now lost 4 in the trot in the Premier League, conceding at least 2 in 6 of their 9 matches. So something is seriously wrong at Liverpool. This was Slot post-match.
Quite a few things what you were just saying could have something to do with that. It's definitely, I've said this many times already, that teams have a certain playing style against us, which is a very good strategy to play, and we haven't found that answer yet, and that every time going 1-0 down doesn't really help as well after 5 minutes. So it's a bit of that teams know which strategy to play against us. We are still, even today when we don't play well, able to score 2 goals and create more chances than only the 2 goals we scored from open play. But yeah, you cannot even compete, which we don't do at the moment. We don't compete up there because we simply concede too many goals.
Martin O'Neill, are you surprised how open Arne Slot is being in that he's struggling for answers on how to cope against direct teams?
Well, first of all, I don't agree with that. I think that for a start, you are the manager of a football team. What he did last season was absolutely fantastic. And there was never any talk then about whether you are finding difficulty against sides that supposedly play the long ball. He was particularly critical of the Manchester United team at that stage. Listen, we're all in the game. We know we have to win football matches. How you win football games, if it's within the rules, is entirely up to you as a coach, whatever way you want to play. There's no pure way of playing this game. Arsenal are showing that they are so strong defensively that they can score goals from a normal play because they have the ability to do that. And if not, they can pull themselves round by scoring a set piece. You can play a long ball. You can do whatever you want. It's in the game. Now, there was no... And I don't think that that's the reason. I think he said his last comments then are the ones that I would take to, is the fact is that they're not competing strongly enough. It's really... I still think that Liverpool, when they get their players together, when they find that real form, they are capable of going 6, 7, 8 consecutive victories. So from that viewpoint, you would never write Liverpool off. Slot proved himself a terrific manager last year. Please, of all I will say to you is don't look for those excuses at the end of the day. It's your job to find it. Are you just looking for some sort of philanthropic manager in the other dugout and saying, excuse me, will you let me play this way because we can't deal with it? It's not happening. Yeah. It reminds me a wee bit of Martin's old boss, Arsene. Arsene, great manager. When anybody got a result against him, they used to play the long ball. It was the English style. It was all of those particular things that would infuriate you as an opposition manager. Really,
Mine's got to let go of that guy. I'm trying to.
Just hold on. Just I know you had your say.
No, I haven't actually.
So this is my point. I've been a manager, been there, and hopefully you'll not dig up somebody in the past where I've criticised.
You started it,
yeah. But I haven't. Yeah. But that's your job. Your job is to break down.
Used to do what Slot's doing.
Arsene, like only all the time. So from a viewpoint, no, what I'm saying, very seldom against Manchester United because you don't want to argue with Sir Alex. But in other teams,
why not?
They used to find, there'll be an excuse for them not getting a result. That was always the reason.
Is it too easy to bully Liverpool at the moment, Mark?
Well, in answer to your question, you would say that that's probably right.
Yeah,
they are. And as I said, Slot even said this here that they're not competing as strongly as they did last season.
But is he not the reason?
Just let me finish.
Okay.
I just think there was a thing. I still think it's a blip. You might go and say 4 consecutive games. First of all, he's earned the right to go 4 consecutive games without defeat because of what he did last season. But here it is. Don't find that there because sometimes that ekes into the psyche of players.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it, is that then you find really good players who haven't been able to break down and think, oh gosh, this becomes a monumental task, when in actual fact it's not. You have got great players at your football club. These players are capable of going 1v1s and beating players. They're capable of turning matches.
But Martin hasn't Slot, isn't he now not a part of the problem? So he inherits a team from Klopp that plays with a 4-1-2-3, okay? Gravenberch is sitting really deep in that midfield, giving a really good screen to his two central defenders who looked extremely exposed this year. He tries to make the next step. He's looking for solutions, yeah? And in doing so, I think he's made the team weaker, okay? So what he's tried to do now, Wirtz is playing off the front. So you have a 2 and a 1 now. So you've got a different structure, you've got a different base to the midfield. You don't have the same protection, and you're in trouble. What we've done is that we've changed 2 defenders in the back line. So you've lost Alexander-Arnold, a fantastic talent. You're not playing Robertson, and you've got Kirkes playing left back. So 2 of your back 4 aren't really quite at the level. They haven't worked, the 2 new signings. Wirtz certainly hasn't worked. You look at the top of the team, Salah stopped scoring goals. He was magnificent for many years. That hasn't happened at the moment. And then you've got Isak, who's come in. He's not fit. There's fitness issues. So it's not a happy ship. Now, it's a really critical time of the season. But he tried to find solutions. He felt that teams, I think, they were winning games, but it was tough. It was difficult, back end of the second half of the season.
Yeah.
And he's made a change to him, and he's actually affected. I think they should go back to the way that they played last season with Gravenberch sitting in front. I know they've got injuries and they can't play key players, but I think the manager has played a part in trying to find the next step for the football club, and he's actually taken them back for now. That doesn't mean they're not going to get better, and he ends up getting this right.
Well, you've obviously covered both angles for yourself there. So where I think about it, Mark, is this: that I don't agree with you. I think that
what don't you agree on?
I'll tell you what I don't is that Liverpool won the league last season. It seemed like a seamless transition. And it was a different style to Klopp and Slot. They played a different style.
More measured. I thought it was measured.
No,
but
he was
the foundation was there from the previous manager, no?
Well, yes and no. You still have to manage that situation.
But they've allowed Diaz, who had his best ever season for Liverpool, to leave. Why?
Diaz might have wanted to leave. I don't know about that there. But if you don't tell me that they haven't actually, if at the end of the season they've done brilliantly, so you want to try and improve. You want to try and improve the team. You don't tell me that in June time, if you were going to look to be signing Wirtz, that wasn't going to improve the team. You'd have thought that absolutely. Nobody thought that he couldn't get up off the ground running immediately. So you didn't think that. Here's the point. And if you're going to sign, if you've been a long-winded way of signing the centre forward from Newcastle,
Isak.
Yeah, Isak, and then you sign Ekitike as well too. Your job is actually to try and fit players into the side. However, those players coming into the football club could only improve.
Should that money not have been spent though in another compartment of the team?
Wait a minute. Of course you can say.
Canate's not quite been at the level this season.
Who? No. I'm not disagreeing with that. You would have thought that they would have got an extra centre half in just in case anything happened to those 2 boys in terms of injuries. But what I'm saying to you is, if you didn't think in July, August time that signing those players wasn't going to improve Liverpool, well, I'm in a different wavelength. I thought it would. It may still do. But this is so you can't you just because something worked out last season brilliantly for you. You want to try. And
is it proving to be too much change? So it's changing personnel and changing the setup, changing the shape. Is it just
they won 5 from 5 in their first 5 games?
Yeah, but they've lost 4 of the last 5.
Yeah. From your viewpoint, you could actually make that argument. There's no question about that. You could make that argument. I think it's too early to say those particular things. And sometimes, in terms of a different shape, it's you're trying to find another way to win.
Yeah.
And you thought you last season they did it brilliantly, but he thought at the end of the season, I'll add a wee bit more creativity to it. I'll bring Wirtz in.
Yeah.
He'll make the difference.
Yeah.
And I would have been totally in agreement with that.
This is a winning Liverpool dressing room that is now got used to losing. And this is where they're at.
It's unfair, Jim. This is just a moment in time in the season.
It's not unfair. It's not unfair. It's exactly right.
Well, it's a critical time of the season where they know there'll be
But moments ago you said it was too early to judge Arsenal.
Look, just a minute. We're talking about Liverpool. Today there would be a major meeting with the players. How are we going to arrest this?
Of course.
This is becoming a habit. We're losing too many games of football.
Of course. Where
are the issues? So you'll be working. I want more protection in midfield. I had a player sat there in front of me last year. I've got to keep coming out and the ball over the top. Van Dijk's not look the same player. He doesn't look solid. He's not reacting quick enough because he's got a different setup. So let's change the setup. Let's go backwards a little bit to go forwards. I think there's been too much change too quickly. I bring Robertson back to left back, but I
don't need to do
see too much wrong with him. I think the manager will realise all of this in time, Jim, but they've got massive games coming up. I mean, the Champions League got Real Madrid to play.
I had one of the greatest managers that ever lived in this game called Brian Clough. And Brian Clough, if this had been a problem here, one thing he used to say to us is that when you're going through a couple of bad results, this is the time to pull in. You row in. You actually get tighter and tighter. You get a bit stronger from it. You're there together. The important thing is this here, that there should not be panicking at Liverpool. Liverpool are capable of pulling this round.
Yeah.
You're talking about making the changes and things like this here. Again, I get back to the point is that those changes that he made in the summertime would only improve the side.
I'm going to put it out there, Martin, actually, because Liverpool fans listening at the moment, many of you are calling in at this stage, so we'll park the bus with you the other side of this break and we'll talk further on Liverpool. But what does losing do to a winning dressing room such as yours? And have Liverpool become a side that's just too easily bullied and too easily beaten? And I can hardly believe I'm asking that, but I am. 03717 223344. No one, I don't care what anyone says, no one could have seen this coming. Liverpool faced a fourth consecutive league defeat at the weekend. 3-2 at Brentford. I mean, could anyone have seen that coming? But the big question is now, how does Slot arrest this? Because it is an extremely worrying trend. And what does losing do to a winning dressing room? I mean, my God, I actually did think I did think it was going to be difficult to see where Liverpool would lose in terms of the Premier League this season. Not even just now, but this season. I thought they'd go deep into the season without losing. That has not happened. Liverpool fans calling in numbers. There's something about it. When Liverpool fans call in, I love it. And this morning is no different. But certainly it's not on a topic that you Liverpool fans would like to be discussing. Stephen, big Liverpool fan. Martin O'Neill is here. Martin Keown is here. Why has it gone so wrong for you in the Premier League, Stephen?
Well, listen, Jim, first of all, thank you for taking me call. I think you're brilliant. Simon Jordan should be Prime Minister of this country. Nailed on. Absolutely brilliant. But listen, Jim, I just want to say it's not a crisis. Jamie Carragher, oh, my God. I'm a Scouser. I'm a Liverpool fan. There's loads of us all over the world. When he comes on the telly, I put the mute button on because he is full of BS. I'm telling you now. A crisis. Come on, Jamie, get a grip with
well,
it.
Stephen, how do you see this then?
Well, I would say, Jim, we've lost 4 games out of 5 by the odd goal and a few dodgy decisions, yeah. We're 9 games into the season, like you keep reminding Martin Keown, and you're right. And Martin as well said a month ago, Liverpool were 5 points clear, and we couldn't believe it because we weren't playing well.
But Stephen Carragher says, I don't think Liverpool have got enough physicality. Is he right?
No, he's wrong. He's wrong. Arnie Slot will sort this out. Like Martin Keown said, we're meeting today. The players will all come together. What they should have done, Jim, in all honesty, should have got that guy, he from Crystal Palace, paid the 45 million, because that's where the problem is in defence. You know, get Robinson back in and get the confidence back. It's all about confidence.
Do the fans want Andy back in, Stephen? That's interesting me. Do they want Andy back in as a starter?
Absolutely, yeah. He is, yeah. Kirk has. Look, it's a big jump for him coming from Bournemouth to Liverpool. But he'll settle in. Slot and the rest of the squad will get them all settled in and do it. Vert is absolutely fantastic. When that lad clicks, when he gets used to the pace of the English game, the Premier League, we will be there. We'll be in the top 4 at least.
Stephen, I like that. Thank you so much for your call, Stephen. Ivo, another big Liverpool fan waiting to speak to us. Where are you? Do you share Stephen's optimism, Ivo, on this one?
Good morning, Jim. Thanks for having me on. Yes, I do actually, but I can clearly see where the problems are. And so, first of all, some of the players are not performing. Salah is not performing going forwards. You look at Konate. Is it just me who can see him not running back, but like being on Sunday jog? He's just jogging back. He's not interested in the defending. Is he already at Real Madrid? Or what is happening?
Ivo, let's put that to Martin Keown, who played in that very position.
Well, I've said that he's not been at the same level. He seems to be, he's a big man. I thought, well, let's give him time to get fit. He started the season clearly not really 100%. I saw some glimpses of improvement. But I'm talking about team protection and that you defend as a team. You know, this is like we're looking at Arsenal and how, dare I mention, but they have got such a good base in front. I mean, that's like your barricade in front of you. You have to block passes into the front players. These 2 central defenders are too exposed, and that's because the setup, the midfield base is different. And then the individuals don't look as secure. They don't look as good, and Konate is suffering more than anybody else.
Martin O'Neill, you want to come in this?
That's what I love Martin. It really does make me smile a bit when big centre halves, and it's been happening all throughout, always want protection to do the job that they're supposed to do themselves. And I think it's great. The more protection you have, the better player you be, or you will be, because people do the job for you, and it's fantastic. So when you're isolated 1v1, then that's the time that you should be able to deal with it. And to be fair to Keown, he could deal with 1v1s. He could do. This is the point. So you don't need as much protection. These players they should be good enough anyway to deal with their own situations. And at this minute, Liverpool aren't. And the reason being is that they're not, for one reason or another, they have not reached the heights of last season in any one of the games. Well, and secondly, they'll find a way again.
Don't give us this protection nonsense. This is what Martin O'Neill's saying.
Yeah, but look, Martin, come on. Look, you were in midfield roaming free. We have to secure that.
I wasn't roaming free.
We have to get people in front of us. There's like a barricade that sits in front. You can block a pass with careful organisation, and if you're a leader at the back, you can position it. Of course, you protect yourself, but you protect the team, and then you get the results that you need. At times, you have to dig in a game. You can't just all fly forward from midfield and play with freedom. That's
true. And you know, at the end of the month when you were picking up the wages, did you give half your wages to Patrick Vieira for doing your job?
Should have given all of it to him.
Probably, yeah.
Because who do you think was in their ear, making sure they got back into position?
Jason, save us here. Big Liverpool fan. Where are you at with this? Because Liverpool, it appears, Jason, have become too easily bullied. Do you agree? Good morning, Jason.
Morning, chap.
Yeah.
Morning, chaps.
Morning, Jason.
So,
hello, are you there?
Jason, we're here. Of course we're here. We're waiting for you to speak. Liverpool lose again. I mean, your title defence is well and truly faltering, isn't it?
It is a bit. I just think that last year's team, it wasn't broken, you know? And as you said, he's tried to make too many changes too quickly. You know, you could have slowly introduced them players. We lost Jota, obviously, bless him. We lost Núñez. Ekitike came in, did a fantastic job to start. The rest of the team could have pretty much stayed the same as it was. And we just tried to change too much too quick, and I don't think we needed to be honest. I mean, I know that Salah's off his game a little bit, and I was disappointed, I've got to be honest, at the weekend, because I thought he was going to sit on the bench to start, and I thought it was a big call, really, to do it, and I think that he should have stuck with his decision from the Frankfurt game and just stuck Wirtz out on the right and let things play out as they did, you know, on Wednesday night. You know, I just think they changed too much too quick. That's
Jason, do you think
we're nervous now, though, Jason? They've got to turn it round, haven't they?
Well, they have got to turn it round, and you know, I mean, you've got, even with Gravenberch out, we haven't got that protection in front of the back four. Stick Endo in. He can do that job, you know? It just all seems very disjointed, and I just don't think that he's found that winning formula there.
Okay.
And for him to find it, it's gonna be a slow process. But we've got a winning team there, and I think we just need to revert to type a little.
Good call, Jason. Thank you. Disjointed. He's got it, didn't he, Martin? Disjointed. That sums Liverpool up at the moment.
Well, I mean, I think you're realising now, without their involvement, Gravenberch, how good a player he is. And I think McAllister as well has had fitness issues this year. So there are all problems for the manager if you're working with him in his team. But yeah, I do agree. They just try to find a solution to make them even better, and it's actually taken them a step backwards for now.
It appears Slot's struggling for answers as to how to cope against direct teams. He better get a bend on, because this has got to change, and change quickly. Next up for them, Palace in the Carabao Cup, and then Villa in the Premier League. The big games keep coming, so do the big fights. What is next for Fabio Wardley? We're about to find out in the company of Frank Warren. It's 11 o'clock and we're live in talkSPORT with Selco, where the trade goes.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles that go the distance for your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With your headlines at just coming up to 3 minutes past 11, I'm Nick Ellaby. Good morning. We can talk about Gabriel and Saliba being the Premier League's best ever centre-back pairing once they've won some trophies. That from Arsenal invincible Martin Keown, who says it's their threat at the other end that marks them out as special.
Saliba sits on the keeper, and that's important because this sort of contact with the keeper takes him out of the equation. That's really important as well. Everyone knows their role at set pieces, but Gabriel is the one who's putting the ball in the back of the net.
Meanwhile, Ali McCoy says Hearts winning the Premiership would be good for Scottish football, but they'll need to keep an incredible run going and...
most importantly, they're going to have to enjoy the continued demise of Rangers and Celtic, which isn't good for Scottish football.
Now, Jamie Cureton's told talkSPORT his first goal in the Eastern Counties League Division 1 North is one of the greatest moments of his career, and at 50, he's still loving it.
I've joined a good club, Kings Park Rangers, that have fun, and it's what I've done, why I started playing, and, you know, it's the reason why I've continued to play, just for love.
Cureton's now the first player to score in all 10 steps of the English football pyramid. The FIA is investigating after Liam Lawson narrowly avoided a fatal accident at the Mexico Grand Prix. Two marshals ran across the track right in front of him. And ahead of the Ashes, Australia are hoping their captain will be fit for the second test. Pat Cummins is officially out the first. Head coach Andrew McDonald's asked when he'll be ready.
Not really going to be able to answer that, other than to say that he'll be back bowling this week. And that's a huge step, and that was the big variable that we wanted to add in and get that information. And so we're on the journey to that second test match.
There's loads of Ashes build-up on talkSPORT's cricket YouTube channel.
talkSPORT News.
Prisons in England and Wales will introduce stronger checks before prisoners are released, and MPs accuse the Home Office of squandering billions of pounds on housing asylum seekers in hotels. There's more from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Today it's raining tyres in our centres, including top-notch brands like Pirelli. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
Turning dry for most of us by this afternoon. A breezy day, but rain moving into western areas later on.
Good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning, October the 27th. It's Jim White, it's Martin Keown and Martin O'Neill, and we are live on talkSPORT. Coming to you, as always now, on your TV, whether it's Samsung, Fire TV, Google TV, even Prime Video, wherever you want to watch us, you can watch us. It's a TV show as well as a radio show, but primarily we are live on talkSPORT, as you know, and we are thrilled at the numbers who tune in between 10 and 1 weekdays on this very show. So much to get through with the two Martins before we go today. Up in Scotland, Hearts, Scottish champions. Is it really on? You heard Ali McCoy saying it could well be because of the demise, as he sees it, of Rangers and Celtic before our very eyes. And is Amarim about to prove a lot of people wrong at Manchester United? Also Sunderland. My God, what a result at the weekend. They go to Stamford Bridge and right at the death, they win it. Can Sunderland dream bigger than just survival? But let's concentrate on events at the O2 on Saturday night, and I was there. Fabio Wardley beat former world champion Joseph Parker with the referee stopping the fight in the 11th round of the contest. It was bloody, it was bruising, it was brutal. And at the end of it, we heard from the vanquished Parker and the winner Wardley.
Listen, it sucks. It sucks losing a fight. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm all happy, no, but life goes on. Boxing's part of what I do, but I'm very blessed with wife and kids and a happy family. So I want to go back to them and regroup and see what's next. But it does suck. But I I just want to say congratulations to my opponent because he won the fight. You know, he won the fight fair and square, and now he's moving on to a bigger fight.
One of the generational talents, one of the best to ever do it, on all the marbles. There's nothing more I could ask for. There's nothing more I could want within this sport. So, just like everything else that's led me here, all I've ever asked for is the opportunity, and I've got that. And I'm not planning on stopping here. I'm not planning on getting in the ring with Usyk and going, look, thanks for having me, and just rolling over. That's not what I'm about. I think you saw that tonight. So, yeah, look, when that bell does go, me and Usyk do finally get in the ring, he's going to have to work for it.
Wow. I mean, how much respect do we have for these two, Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker? The answer to that is a bundle of respect. It was a barnstormer of a fight. The man who put it all on is top boxing promoter Frank Warren. Frank, good morning to you. How do you reflect on Saturday night?
Sorry, say again, Jim. I missed that.
How do you reflect on what we witnessed on Saturday night, Frank?
It was a classic heavyweight fight. It was a great fight that flowed backwards and forwards against two gladiators who never took a backward step, and it was a Cinderella story for Fabio. I mean, a guy who had no amateur experience whatsoever, 20 fights the number 2 in the world, as I was saying, in an unbelievable, exciting fight, and won the prize. And now fights the 4-time or the 4-belt holder in Alexander Usyk, which is going to be another classic. And don't write him off because he has that equaliser, that big punch.
Right, we'll get to that. Frank, where are you regards the stoppage? Some people said on social media immediately afterwards, and they still do, it was too quick. The ref moved in too quickly. Where do you stand on it?
Well, I'll tell you where I stand on it. I was sitting next to Tyson Fury, who is Joe Parker's, like he calls him, his brother. He, like I, and anybody who knows their boxing, said and felt it should have been stopped. If you're not throwing punches back, the referee has no alternative to stop it. And I've watched it back a few times, and Joe was hurt, and he said it himself. Andy Lee described it perfectly at the after-fight press conference, and it was a good stoppage. And I think people who keep going on and on, what do they want to see? Somebody carried out on a stretcher?
Yeah, exactly. Keown Martin O'Neill are both with me.
Yeah.
Martin Keown, no doubt, wants to talk Arsenal. We'll probably do that with you before you go, Frank. But Frank's right, isn't he?
Yeah, and Frank, do you know what was...
Safety first.
We had these two guys, Fabian and Joseph, in the studio, and there was a refreshing maturity about how they were. They had immense respect for one another, and that didn't change within the fight. They both went hell for leather. And then afterwards, again, no complaints from Joseph Parker. He knew he was beaten on the night by a better man. He can...
Exactly.
What can Fabio go on and do now, Frank? Because that was really... I mean, so much... He was really sharp with his punching. I thought that's what won it, his speed at the end.
He was. And, first of all, what you say about the two guys is spot on. They were exemplary. They got tremendous respect for each other, as most boxers do, really, to be quite honest. You get a few trash talkers, but these two guys, I mean, they are what professional boxing is all about. They gave everything. And, what I noticed about what I feel about Fabio is this guy is learning on the job. That's what he's doing. He's not coming in, as I say, with any experience. His last fight against Hooney, he was well behind on the cards and pulled that equaliser out and stopped Hooney. And this one, again, I thought the first 4 rounds I thought were even, and then I thought that Joe Parker pulled away a bit. Then he got a couple of rounds back, Fabio, and that 10th round, towards the end of the round, he did have Joe in trouble. And then I said to Tyson, I said, I don't think it's going to go past this round. I said, either Fabio's going to punch himself out or Joe will come back. And as it turned out, Fabio didn't. He seems to find the wherewithal from inside him. He's a tremendous competitor. And what I like about him, when he does get caught, he gets his composure back very quickly. He sort of grits his teeth, gets his composure, and does the business. And you just have to admire somebody who's got that determination, that true grit, true British grit, and just shows what he's capable of. I mean, if he'd had a big amateur career and had all this experience instead of learning on the job, who knows what he'd be now.
So, Frank, what can you tell us this Monday morning? Usyk must now fight Wardley next or relinquish that WBO belt. Usyk's camp last night, in the person of Igis Klimas. I spoke to his manager last night. He was back in the US. And they're not overexcited, with all due respect, at the prospect of fighting Fabio. So,
well, they said before the fight they would fight the winner. He did say that. He absolutely said that, and that's what they put out last week. The WBO have ordered that, so it's up to him. He either fights him or relinquishes the belt, or he'll get stripped. Now, I hope he doesn't do that, because I generally feel this fight would fill Wembley up. It would now be a big fight. You know, he sold 28,000 tickets at Ipswich on a night where the weather was dreadful, but he did that. We had a really good turnout on Saturday.
Yeah.
And this is now a fight. It's not like something where they think, oh, he's going to get,
sure.
It's a really one-sided affair. He has the power and has shown it on 19 out of his 20 fights. He's shown what he's all about. He stops people.
Well, that's right.
And he comes from behind and does it.
And Frank, Klimas was at pains to point out that they have a huge amount of respect for Fabio Wardley. He hadn't spoken, Klimas, to Usyk at that stage last night, Frank. So who knows after a conversation like that. But certainly you're confident that Wardley against Usyk would indeed bring them in, if you like.
Oh, 100%. Look, Usyk's last couple of fights that he's had, the one against Daniel Dubois, we sold out. We had 90-odd thousand people there. He's been to the UK and he's beat all the Brits he's fought. He has the wins against all of them. And this is another big fight in the heavyweight division. I mean, the heavyweight division's a light at the moment. Usyk Dubois, Usyk Fury, Dubois AJ, Fabio Huni, the fight on Saturday. All these fights have been great fights. And Fabio's come through now and he deserves his shot. He deserves his shot at Usyk. And I wouldn't say put it on at Wembley if I didn't feel that was the way. I'd say put it on in a smaller venue. It will sell out Wembley.
Yeah, I mean, you sat with Tyson. I was sitting behind you on Saturday night, and Tyson said recently that, he wants to fight again, and he would want to fight Usyk again. Who would you prioritise, Frank? Because you promote Tyson and you also promote Wardley.
I can't prioritise either of them because it's Usyk who will make the decision. That's him. He's the guy. He's the guy in the driving seat. Who he wants, what he wants to do, and where he wants to go.
Well, let me phrase it in another way, Frank. Would you rather make Tyson against Usyk for a third time, or would you rather make the fight that would be Fabio Wardley against Usyk?
I'd like to make both the fights because that's the position I'm in. So, you're not going to get me on that, Jim. They're both fights. I represent both the guys, and it's not prioritising. The end of the day, all Usyk now has, and he deserves it, and he deserves everything he's got. He's the 4-belt world champion.
Yeah.
He's the guy that will decide who he wants to fight and where he's at. I know where he's at. He's at money fights where he can earn the most money. That's where he's at. And that's what will make his decision for him. I won't be making the decision. He'll be making his decision.
How does it work, Frank? When do you expect to hear from? When might we hear from the Usyk camp? I mean, I spoke to Klimas last night, as I say, but it's pretty early because he hasn't spoken to Usyk. When might we know what might be next?
I don't think it'd be that far. The WBO's convention starts in Colombia tomorrow, and they will order it. We will have a period of time to negotiate. If we can't agree terms, then it will go to purse offers. And once the purse offers, if we go that far and we don't agree terms and there are purse offers, whoever wins it will put in there the date they want to put it on, and then Usyk will either will sign the contracts or not. And if he doesn't sign it, as I said earlier, he'll be stripped, which I hope will not be the case.
You've got a big one this weekend, have you not? Watsy against Zach Parker. It's live on talkSPORT. You're looking forward to that?
I am. We're doing the same with the light heavyweights as we're doing with the heavyweights.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fantastic fight and it's a real meaningful fight for both these guys. It's the winner going on and the loser, got to really get yourself back in there, and it's going to be tough. This is a real career-defining moment for both these guys. And the undercard's a fabulous undercard as well with other light heavyweights on there.
Okay, Frank, before you leave us, are you willing to say what Martin Keown won? It's Arsenal's title?
Say that again?
It's Arsenal's title, Frank? Do you agree?
It's ours to lose. It's ours to lose. And thanks for the book, by the way, Martin. I got it the other day.
Pleasure, Frank. I hope it's a knockout for you, mate.
It is. It's definitely knocked me out. Well done, mate.
Frank, I was trying to get Keown to say that.
I advise everybody to buy it and read it. All you Arsenal fans. Yeah, I think we're. I really think it's ours to lose. We've only got 3 goals in this up to now, but we've got a long ways to go. I mean, when you think a few weeks ago, what's Liverpool? 5 points clear? We're 4 now. It's an up and down situation. As long as we can keep our nerve, and I just think, look, I'd like to see a bit more flamboyancy up front and more pace and speed, but we're winning games. And
we're only 3 rounds into the fight, aren't we?
But it's Arsenal's to lose, Frank, is it?
Don't even talk like that. Jim.
Yeah.
We're optimists. I had a great sporting weekend. You know, we've done really well. Look, as I say, it's ours too. I don't think we are. I think the difference between this and other seasons is that we do have a good squad together. We pulled together a good squad of players. We've got injuries, but at least we got decent players in to fall in. And when once some of these players come back from their injuries, I think we're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Keep enjoying it, Frank.
Thank you very much indeed. Frank Warren joining us this morning. And what a story unfolded at the O2 on Saturday night. It was Fabio Wardley's night. And what is next for him? Usyk could well be. Coming up to 11:20. One of the results over the weekend, undoubtedly Sunderland going to Stamford Bridge and winning. Sunderland, one of Martin O'Neill's former clubs, of course. He was in charge of Sunderland. That was your boyhood club. You love the club, Martin, still do.
I still do, yeah, absolutely, and I love it even more now that the old owner Ellis Short has left the football club, which is great. But it's a fantastic football club. Has been for years and years, even when they were at Old Roker Park. And I supported them as a kid, and listening to their big football matches on at a boarding school when I was 11 years of age, and they got beaten in the quarter final, third match, against Manchester United, quarter-final of the FA Cup in 1964. So there we go.
Is that a grammar school, Martin?
Grammar school, of course, Martin.
Well done.
I expect nothing else from you.
Proper education from me, young man.
I agree with the bit Ellis Short. I had a couple of very uncomfortable experiences
did you?
at lunch with him.
Please.
Yeah. I was glad to get out of there. Sunderland stunned Chelsea. They stunned Chelsea. A last-minute winner at Stamford Bridge, and it was 2-1. But they are flying, are they not? I mean, no one could have expected this. The fourth this morning in the Premier League. They have 17 points on the board, the best start by any newly promoted club for 17 years. The man in charge, the man who's putting it together, Regis Lebris.
Target remains exactly the same. We want to reach as soon as possible the target of 40 points, something like that. And so it's not the halfway. We need 3 more points to be at that point. So we'll see. It's important to start well because it gives confidence and belief, and sometimes you can create a negative dynamic. It's really hard to change the mindset, the confidence, and so on. So good to start like that, and happy for our fans.
So Regis Lebris, 40 points. That's the target. In other words, safety. In other words, survival. Can they dream bigger than that now, though, Martin O'Neill?
Well, when you've got that number of points in the board, you feel as if that your ambition might change a little bit. But he's absolutely right to say this. You know, the team has just got up this season. They've signed a lot of players, which was great news for them, regardless of whether it takes time for them to gel, and they've done that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But most importantly, Jim, the side that got promotion, if they'd not done anything about it, would have not been strong enough to have survived this season. So it's been great, and the manager must get a great deal of credit. He's pulled them together, and there's a great old atmosphere there back at the Stadium of Light, which I'm delighted to see, because it's a proper football club.
Yeah, and they don't look out of place.
Not at all. Not at all. And this is where I want to make a shout out for Granit Xhaka here, because when he was at Arsenal, look, there was one or two liked him, others didn't. But you have to say, I mean, Bayern Leverkusen let him go. He was an invincible at Bayern Leverkusen. Ten Hag was involved and let him go. I mean, that was a disaster, but massive news for Sunderland. I see him on the pitch, and if we didn't have, it was back in COVID time. I remember listening to Henderson at Liverpool, similar sort of thing. If there was no sound, Jim, you'd hear him. He's barking instructions to everybody. He's telling everyone to calm down, keep the ball when we need to, get forward when we need to. I've never really seen a player so involved, so instrumental in a team. I think you get in the Premier League, you've got to have Premier League experience around you. When you do that, I see Walker at Burnley. You've got to fill the group with players that there's the know-how, Jim, because it's the next step.
Yeah.
Now, these belong in the Premier League now, 5 wins out of 9. And it's a really good story, Jim. I see them they've got 2 home games now coming up. They play Everton and they play Arsenal. And look, it's beautifully placed for them, isn't it? They get these two home games.
Yeah.
The crowd start to go. It's just a re-emergence of their football club.
As Martin Keown says, Martin, experience. When you came up with Leicester, was that a factor? That your experience in your team, so that would help you stay in your new surroundings?
Well, you need that. Martin's talking about the player that he probably knows. Xhaka, when he was at Arsenal...
I think he divides opinion a little bit, Martin.
Well, he does, or did do. I think he's been fantastic at Sunderland. And all you have to do is listen to a couple of the younger players they're talking about his influence, not only on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. And it's one of those that you can have all the experience in the world, Jim, but if you arrive at a football club and not have the interest of the football club really at heart, that's a different issue. Yeah. It seems, and I say it seems as if he's really taken to this role, and you're right, he had the experience at Leverkusen. He's actually, you feel as if he's incredibly mature now as a player, whereas the backbiting with the Arsenal crowd away back some years ago, and you thought, I've got the utmost regard for him and what he's doing there at the football club. The utmost regard.
And he told me at the time, we bumped into Xhaka a few times at the World Cup in Qatar, where Switzerland were in the same hotel.
Right.
And he was well aware of it. Of course he was, about an element of the Arsenal support giving him jip. But he was like, it's part of the game.
Right, but by the time you would have thought that was going to be the end of him.
Yeah.
But by the time that he left Arsenal, he had fought back.
He'd won them over.
Absolutely.
And he does the same for his national team, isn't he?
Here's one for the two of you. Before we hit this break, and I'm determined to ask you both, who do you think is going to be the story of the North East this season? Sunderland, Newcastle or Middlesbrough?
Well, obviously I'm biased, so it's going to be Sunderland.
Do you
for
think
me.
Sunderland?
Well, that I don't know. Newcastle are involved now in the Champions League.
Would they be the story if they finished top 10?
Would that be the story? Depending on what Newcastle would have done.
Yeah.
And if Middlesbrough get promotion, of course, then yeah. Listen, I'm biased.
Just staying up, Jim, is the massive story. The last few seasons, all three teams come up and gone straight back down. This year, it doesn't look like that's going to quite happen, and it's causing. We've already seen casualties, managers being sacked because of the bottom three teams now need to start to play.
Yeah.
You look at West Ham and Wolves. I mean, it's not been a really good start to the season, and they're looking at the three that have come up. Usually they can rely on them to not really produce, but Sunderland, 5 wins is really impressive.
What all three clubs can boast, Martin, I'm sure you were with me on this, is that some of the best supporters in the land.
There's no question about that.
Sunderland, Newcastle and Middlesbrough. Whenever they're in this part of the world and I bumped into any of them, they're phenomenal.
Yeah, they are.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely.
All of you. So all of you this morning at 11:30, take a bow. Live in Talk Sport with Selco, where the trade goes.
The big question today, can Hearts break a 40-year-old firm stranglehold on the Scottish Premiership title? Rangers legend Ali McCoist has given his verdict.
Yes!
Hearts are 8 points clear after a convincing win over Celtic. Elsewhere, there's plenty of talk about Arsenal's title credentials south of the border. But what about Spurs in third? Could they win the league under Thomas Frank?
No, there's a few teams ahead of us. I think it's fair to say that. I'm only thinking of one game at a time, and let's see where we are in April.
His side are still unbeaten away from home following a 3-0 win at Everton, while Beto and Tierno Barry are struggling to find the back of the net for the Toffees. Here's David Moyes.
I think as managers we want to give our players encouragement. We want to make sure that we are incredibly supportive, but ultimately you're here to score the goals if you wear number 9.
Vitor Pereira says winless Wolves just need 3 points from somewhere to change the vibes at Molineux. The boss confronted fans as they chanted "sacked in the morning" after their loss to Burnley. And Cricket Australia has confirmed their skipper Pat Cummins is out of the first Ashes test with a back problem. Steve Smith will captain the Aussies in Perth in 3.5 weeks' time. And there's loads more Ashes build-up on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Get ready for the golden era of sports betting. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
So the three of us becomes the four of us, Martin O'Neill and Martin Keown alongside myself this Monday morning, what's left of it, as we are joined by BetMGM's Matt Gibson. Matt, good morning to you. Let's have a look at the top of the Premier League and what you make of it.
Yeah, morning, fellas. Arsenal inevitable at this point, right? They're as short as 4-9 to win the division. A lot of things been said about how the scoring reliance on set pieces. For me, fellas, it doesn't matter how it goes in, just as long as it does go in. They're finding a way to score, and they are miserly at the back. Hardly conceding any goals and unbeaten in 10 in all comps. So the market has got them as big odds-on favourites. If we're talking about drifters, Liverpool have been on a barge in the last 4 weeks. They're all the way out to 7-1. They were pretty close to even money before the start of this bad run, but they got done in at Brentford over the weekend. I think they've lost as many games in this campaign as they did in the entire league last year. And they faced Villa on Saturday. Villa obviously had their fantastic win themselves, Matty Cash scoring, and they found a way to stop Man City and Erling Haaland, which is a real job in itself. The market, fellas, City drifted a little bit to 9-2. Liverpool, as mentioned, 7-1. Man United, massive price at 25s. Arsenal, 4-9. Market says, fellas, it's not a case of if Arsenal are going to win this league. It's by how many. Are you confident in that, or do you think there's more twists and turns left in this season?
Well, I mean, you heard the way Matt Gibson's phrasing it there, Martin Keown.
Well,
inevitable.
Just interesting.
Inevitable actually. Arsenal.
I'm going to give you a bit of a story here because I've been here 5 years at talkSPORT Radio. We've won sort of Programme of the Year for 3 of those 5 years. And this is the first year that I predicted that Arsenal could be champions or would be champions. Before that, no. And I haven't really seen anything to change my mind. But there's still a long way to go, as you know. And ask me again when we get to 29 games into the season rather than just 9 games.
What changed, Martin? Why did you go this year?
The transfer, they're so clinical in the transfer market. Major changes, 5 or 6 major changes. Mascara at the back, same DNA as what was before. Eze coming in as well when you thought you had already enough players. Super Mendy in midfield. I mean, he plays in centre midfield for Spain. You've got somebody in there, real quality. So if you get the injuries, which invariably Arsenal will, and they've been unlucky in that area, it doesn't really matter when you've got real quality to bring in. And I thought the manager last year had managed a little bit with one hand tied behind his back. Maybe Martin might say, oh no, that's lots of resources he had, but they weren't sort of at the 11 when it wasn't playing, wasn't quite at the level. Now, you could argue that it's very difficult to see what is the best 11 at Arsenal, such as the quality they have at the moment.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's all but inevitable, to be quite honest, Matt. What about the other end of the table? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, my attention's always at the other end of the table. Friday night was not a bad night for us, although I will say that West Ham were very poor. I did expect a reaction after.
Who's us, Matt? Who's us? Can you just
Leeds United.
Yeah, but just
Sorry,
do you assume we all know this? Go on. Just for our new listeners, because we are gathering new listeners, I believe.
You certainly know, but I'll try to remain impartial all the way through. Leeds United, it was a good night to beat one of us on
Great
Friday.
night. What are you on about? Great night.
But I did think West Ham were poor coming away from home, sitting in really deep, but conceding early on, not starting with a recognised striker. They did look better when Callum Wilson came on after the injury. West Ham are right in the mire here, lads. 3-5 to go down. Burnley and Wolves are the only two teams shorter than them. I do always mention Sunderland when we talk about relegation.
Oh yeah, we've been talking about them. Yeah,
I should probably start mentioning them for a European price at the moment. They are the 9-1 to make the top six, and 7-1 to go down. So they finally escaped the sort of bottom of the table.
Actually, Matt, let's put it to the other Martin O'Neill. Do you fear for West Ham, Martin, and Nuno? I mean, the task is enormous.
Well, I fear for the football club, yes, and primarily because they're not very good, and it's a struggle for them. It has been all season. It's been a struggle for quite some considerable time. And I don't think the recruitment has been great. I don't think that I think there are too many players really not up to playing in this league, or certainly the battle that they're going to have.
Should he be doing better with the group of players that he has, though, Mark?
The group of players is not good. Obviously, every manager that steps into a job wants to try and improve the players that he has. That's number one. That's what you try and do. And to a part, you're judged on that to improve them. So to improve those players, you have got to win some football matches. They look as far removed from winning a football game as I've ever seen, because there's nothing about they can't defend properly. Mm-hmm. There's no real pace in the side at the end of it all. No genuine pace all over the pitch that you think that you can go and attack. Nuno played with Nottingham Forest last season. They sat in, but they had pace. Mm-hmm. They had pace going forward. West Ham do not have that.
They've got Somerville. They've got Bowen. He's got there's pace there. Paquetá is a really gifted individual.
Somerville plays occasionally in the side. What I'm talking about is genuine being able to break on them. Take Bowen out of the team. Yeah, but just a second, Mark. Take Bowen out of the side, and they're almost certain to relegate.
Yeah, okay, but let's just look at the basics. So we've got set pieces, and I've given you the job as the owner, and I expect to change. It is schoolboy errors. And so they concede again at the weekend. It's like, well, so what have we done on the training pitch to improve that with Nuno? What have we done? Because it's the same story, and it's a different manager. So, they go to Everton. I thought second half, oh, wow, I saw a big improvement. He got into the players a little bit. But since then,
I think your point, Martin O'Neill, is that the table doesn't lie. West Ham are lousy.
West Ham are poor. Really, really poor. They're a poor side. So you're giving a manager's got a couple of weeks. So the first week he has a training session with them for 2 or 3 days. They do the set pieces. Do you think then there's a difference between doing a set piece on a Friday and converting it on a Saturday? But you know what it's to do with? I'm telling you, I was really brilliant with set pieces on a Friday. And I used to bottle it on a Saturday at the end of the day. So that's the point. That's the major thing about this. The major thing about this game, what you do on a Friday is totally immaterial. It's what you do on the Saturday. And if you've got players who can head the ball, I've worked with players who were brilliant on a Friday. Seriously,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is with this lot at the moment.
Well, there you are.
That's your point, Martin.
That's exactly my point.
I tell you what, it counts what you do on a Sunday, and it certainly did at Tynecastle, Matt, because Hearts had Celtic at home yesterday and beat them. Are they looking good, do you think, at BetMGM to disrupt the old firm?
Well, I might have a few quid on Hearts at 6-4, lads, because they are 8 points clear by my maths, and Celtic are still 3-5 favourites. If you just put those prices against what's happening in the Premier League, Arsenal are 4 points clear, but 4-9. Hearts are 8 points clear, but 6-4 second favourites in a arguably less competitive league. I think the market's probably got that wrong, hasn't it? Unless you just think Celtic are historically, winners at this level, they will turn around 8 points.
I don't know if it's time to get Newsline of the morning. We'll get back to this shortly about Hearts and the Scottish game. Martin O'Neill, do you take Hearts to win the Scottish Premiership?
Ooh. Well, after the weekend, they've put themselves in a really decent position. And I think, again, I get back to the point, I think it's early. By the way, Matt, I knew that you were a Leeds fan. Forget about what Keown thought, you know.
Thanks, mate.
So no problem. And I'm not here on this programme half as often as Martin is, so I knew immediately you were a Leeds fan. But getting back to Hearts have shown a great determination. Their record is great at this minute. And with Celtic not being as strong, physically as strong as perhaps maybe you would want them to be, it is possible.
We'll get into it shortly. Matt, thank you. Visit betmgm.co.uk. Download the app. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Keep things golden with responsible play at betmgm.co.uk. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
On Saturday night at the O2 here in London at Wardley up against Parker, I met a couple of Sheffield Wednesday fans. Tony and Greg, it was hi to you both. You guys are going through it at the moment. And of course, on Friday, Sheffield Wednesday were placed in administration and hit with an automatic 12-point deduction by the EFL. The same Sheffield Wednesday lost at home to Oxford at the weekend. They remain bottom of the table on -6 points. I wonder, though, with the announcement of administration, has an announcement like that ever been met with such joy? Because it means that the owner, Daifon Chansiri, exits stage left. Wednesday Till I Die podcast man James Mappin joins us live on the show. James, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Jim. Thanks for having me on. Great to speak to you.
Good to speak to you, James. I've gone early. It's 10 to 12. Let's call it good afternoon early. James, where are you at then with administration hit with an automatic 12-point deduction by the EFL, and yet happy, as I understand it, that Chansiri's out the picture?
Yeah, I mean, it should be a dark day going into administration, but yeah, I think I speak for quite a lot of the Sheffield Wednesday fans, if not all of them, where we're actually delighted that this has happened, because it means that, as you've rightly said, Daifon Chansiri is no longer the owner of this magnificent football club. And I know you've spoke about it quite a lot, and it's been incredibly sad over the last 6 months, but it stretches a lot further than that, to be fair. And you know, we just finally have got rid of him, and hopefully we can start that rebuild now. Obviously, we realise that we're not out of the woods just yet. We have to find an owner and a decent owner at that one. But you know, this football club's got a lot of potential, and I don't feel like it's been tapped into, certainly since we've come out of the Premier League all those many years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, under no illusion that it's a big job at hand, but yeah, it's we're certainly looking forward, not backwards.
James, the two Martins, Martin O'Neill and Martin Keown, are with me. They'll come in this. But how would you sum up the Daifon Chansiri era?
An absolute disaster. I mean, he came in and obviously, yeah, we nearly got to the Premier League and all that, but that was 8 years ago now, and I think he's dined out on that for far too long. There's been multiple problems and mistakes that he's made, and then you get to the point now where, you know, he wasn't paying the players on time, wasn't paying the staff, and it just got to the point where it simply wasn't enough. I think we, you know, as a fan base, we're too lenient on it, if I'm being perfectly honest. But, you know, it got to the point where you'll have seen the pictures on Wednesday. I'm a season ticket holder myself. I didn't go to the game against Middlesbrough. There was about, 7,000 fans, and I think 4,000 of those were from Borough. So, and then a stark contrast to Saturday, where there's 27,000 in, and we've raised we spent £500,000, £500,000, since Friday lunchtime, which I think is remarkable, really. And yeah, it just shows that he was the problem. He was the problem at this football club. He's wiring this mess. I think it's going to take a while to sort it out. You know, relegation is nailed on. -6 points at the moment. It's not looking great, but I think, you know, as Wednesday fans, we're just happy that this saga is now over.
James, I did see that clamour for tickets before you played the Oxford game, and I'll be quite open. I'm an Oxford United fan, so and I thought there was a lot of sympathy for Sheffield Wednesday. You nearly came back in that game. Did you see any crumb of comfort, any improvement from the team? Was there any kind of reaction? Because obviously it's been on a losing trail that you've been on. The second half, certainly you were a whole lot better against Oxford United.
Yeah, I think that there was a little bit, but I think, you know, the 3 games in a week is going to cripple us many times this season. I think, you know, as the season goes on, again, you know, we might have new owners come January, we might not. It might drag on a little bit longer. So the squad that we've got is just simply, it's not big enough. I don't want to say it's not good enough. It's not big enough to be able to compete at this level. So we are really struggling at the moment. I mean, the fact that we've picked up as many points as we actually have, and there's only been a few games where we haven't been in it, you know, the 5-0 against Coventry being one of them, but in the vast majority of them have been 1-goal games, which has been very frustrating. But look, there's no pressure on those lads going out there now. They've just got to play football and see how many points they can pick up, and, you know, we'll be right behind them as fans, and it must be, you know, a massive weight off their shoulders as well, knowing that, you know, they will actually get paid on time. Certainly this month anyway.
I mean, James, off the field, it can only get better for you now, I would suggest. What are you looking for in a new owner?
Exactly the opposite of what Depon Chansiri was doing, I feel. We want a plan, first and foremost. He didn't have one. We want someone that's got a plan. We don't necessarily need someone with football knowledge. If you haven't got football knowledge, bring some people in that have. You know, we didn't have any sort of structure at all. We didn't have a chief exec. We didn't have a director of football. We didn't have those sorts of people. I want someone to come in and actually build that structure underneath. There are so many quick wins as well with the fans that can be had. But mainly, it is having a plan. I don't want someone to come in and just say Premier League in 5 years. I think that's quite lazy, to be honest. You know, we are a big football club, and hopefully we do get back there at some point. But at the moment, I think our expectations are quite low, really, of what we want. You know, the stadium needs a bit of money spent on it. I'm not going to deny that. And I think also, probably more importantly, the training ground needs some work doing to it as well.
Sure.
We're not seeing players coming through the academy. We've had to force some players through this season, and you know, and the two that have come through have done well. They're now both out injured, unfortunately, but we need more of that. We want to be more of a sustainable football club, like some of the clubs in the Premier League.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it very closely, James, but hopefully the only way is up for you now. James Mappin, Wednesday Till I Die podcast. Things are going to change, hopefully for the better at Sheffield Wednesday. The great and the good were filling the O2 on Saturday night. Fabio Wardley beat Joseph Parker. I had a brief chat with Chelsea striker out injured at the moment, Liam Delap. And of course, Liam was there because he's a fan of Fabio Wardley. And Fabio Wardley is a fan of Liam's former club, Ipswich Town. This was Liam Delap on Saturday.
I'm coming to watch Fabio. Obviously, spent a long time at Ipswich last year, and he's a big Ipswich fan, so we've come to support him.
I don't know about you, when you look at the guys when they go in the ring, I think, how on earth do they do it? I mean, you've got 10 colleagues in a pitch, but they're on their own, aren't they?
Yeah, no, they're animals, honestly. I think, you know, the fitness is different, but, you know, you can appreciate how hard they work and how hard it is in the ring.
How are you getting on? You had a massive money move to Chelsea. How's it worked out?
Yeah, obviously it was an incredible start in the summer. You know, the Club World Cup was incredible, and I've had a tough start at the moment. Obviously injury, but you know, obviously I'm focused to get back fit and get back firing.
We had your co-owner Todd Bowley on the show, Liam, and he said how proud he was that you boys won the Club World Cup. How does it feel when you pull on the jersey and you've got that Club World Cup badge on your chest?
Yeah, no, it's incredible, you know. I think it's such a difficult tournament to win, and, you know, it was obviously over summer in difficult conditions, but, you know, everyone played their part, and, you know, we're so happy that we got it done.
Do you feel at home at Chelsea?
Yeah, of course. You know, the boys are brilliant. Everyone's welcomed me very well, and, you know, I can't wait to fully get started.
I'm not sure what's going on at the moment. Are you? I mean, you didn't play today, but Chelsea lost. Liverpool lost tonight. What's going on?
No, you know, it's the Premier League. Everyone's really tough. You know, everyone has a really good squad, but you know, it's a long season, and you just got to stay consistent and keep winning.
What a good lad he is. Liam Delap speaking to me on Saturday night. Chelsea, Martin O'Neill and Martin Keown with us as we bowl up to 12 noon. I mean, they've dropped 8 points from winning positions, the most in the league. Where do you think Chelsea are headed at this particular time, Martin O'Neill? Not in the direction they were hoping to, I don't think.
It's a really good point, Jim. I really don't know. I think they're enigmatic. I think they are capable of winning football matches, and they're also capable of losing. I think defensively, I think they've got problems, as most teams, with the exception of Arsenal, do have. But yeah, they can concede. Not for the life of me did I see Sunderland coming to Stamford Bridge and winning that game. And it is a blow to them because, you know, it seems at times where they go 2 steps forward, 1 back, that type of thing. And they're too inconsistent to be proper challengers.
Yeah, they've got to go over that, Martin, haven't they?
Well,
inconsistency.
I suppose, Martin, that's the issue when you've got so many young players in the group and so many changes that they're making, Jim. I thought when they lost to Bayern, they had a little bit of a blip in their season, lost to Brighton at home. They've lost a couple of home games now. And you saw them maybe making the next step. At the start of the season, they started very well. But now, I mean, there's no Cole Palmer. There's a whole range of injuries they've got there. They keep changing their defenders. You watched them play in midweek. I thought they did really well against Ajax, and then they changed that out again. A lot of the youngsters. There was a lot of changes in that game. So he's using the squad, but to lose at home to Sunderland really does dent your season.
Yeah, well, good luck to Liam Delap. He's been out, as I say, for a bit. He's coming back. Don't think he'll be back in time to play Spurs. So at the weekend, they're at Tottenham this coming weekend. It's Jim White, Martin Keown and Martin O'Neill. We're live in talkSPORT with Selco, where the trade goes. It's 12 noon.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles built around your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With your headlines at 12:01, I'm Nick Ellaby. Good afternoon. Liverpool can still go on a tear-up and get themselves back in this title race. Martin O'Neill's told White and Jordan anything's possible under the terrific Arne Slot, but he doesn't want to hear any more of Arne's excuses about opposition tactics.
It reminds me a wee bit of Arsene, great manager. When anybody got a result against him, they used to play the long ball. It was the English style. It was all of those particular things that would infuriate you as an opposition manager.
Meanwhile, Ali McCoy says Hearts winning the Premiership would be great for Scottish football, but the continued demise of Rangers and Celtic isn't good for the game. Meanwhile, Sheffield Wednesday's joint administrator says there are 4 or 5 interested buyers that look like the real deal. Wednesday sit bottom of the Championship on -6 after that 12-point deduction. Some breaking news: Juventus have sacked head coach Igor Tudor. That's after an 8-match winless streak. And heavyweight boxing now. Fabio Wardley's potential world title fight. Frank Warren has told White and Jordan the ball's in Alexander Usyk's court.
It's up to him. He either fights him or relinquishes the belt or he'll get stripped. Now, I hope he doesn't do that because I genuinely feel this fight would fill Wembley up.
Warren says the ref was right to stop Joe Parker on Saturday night and calls Wolseley's win a Cinderella story. Rugby Union and Ollie Cracknell's been called up to the Wales squad for the autumn internationals. The uncapped Leicester forward replaces the injured Talupe Faletau. And ahead of the Ashes, Australia head coach Andrew McDonald cannot say when Pat Cummins will be fit to play. Their captain will definitely miss the first test. Steve Smith will take the reins as more Ashes build up on talkSPORT's cricket YouTube channel.
talkSPORT News.
Prisons in England and Wales are expected to begin enhanced checks before inmates are released, and MPs accuse the Home Office of squandering billions of pounds on housing asylum seekers in hotels. There's more from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. This winter, treat yourself to the Bridgestone Turanza All-Season 6 tyres with a 20,000 tyre mileage guarantee. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
Turning dry for most this afternoon. A breezy day and rain moving into western areas later on.
Good afternoon, everybody. 4 minutes past 12 noon. It is now officially Monday lunchtime. It's Jim White, Martin Keown, Martin O'Neill. We're all live on talkSPORT. We're live on your telly as well. You can watch the show as well as listen to it, and many of you are doing just that, even in Prime Video. Wherever you want to watch it, we are there for you. North of the border, what is going on? Hearts very much in pole position. There's Stu, who's a Hearts fan. Jim, it was a very bizarre feeling going into the Celtic game, confident of getting all 3 points. Derek McInnes has found a simple winning formula that is working for Hearts right now. The squad is strong. You can see it in every single player, including the squad players buying into what McInnes is trying to do. This is on. Is it on? Are Hearts about to disrupt the old firm and go all the way and win this thing? They went 8 points clear of Celtic at the top of the Scottish Premiership, and they swept the Scottish champions aside by 3-1. Martin O'Neill in studio with us. Before we get Martin's taking it, let's get Celtic boss Brendan Rodgers taking it.
Although that's irrelevant, you know, we've got so many games to play, and thankfully, in the context of it all, there's 29 games still to play, so obviously 8 points behind in the league. And I said that to the players beforehand, that whichever way this game goes, the context of it all is there's so much to play for. We haven't made the start that we would like. Hearts have made a really good start in terms of points and what they've collected, but there's still 29 games to play. But for us, we need to focus on a performance level that allows us to be more consistent with and without the ball, and if we can do that, of course, then what matters really is where you're at in May. So it's still very early, but we have to, with limited time to work, we have to keep the confidence in the team, and then now we've got another big game on Wednesday.
We'll get to Hearts in a second, but Martin, I know you watched it. I certainly did. You look at Celtic and the Honda Civic comments apart from last week from Brendan. What were Celtic at the weekend apart from disappointing?
Well, I thought that Hearts off the great start, scored the goal early on, then Celtic equalised, and I thought Celtic controlled the game for a goodly part then. Obviously undone just after half time in the match. And so it was going to be a difficult game for Celtic. Hearts are on the rise at this moment. I know this time last year Aberdeen had won a host of games early on, and you knew that was never sustainable. They just couldn't do it. Hearts are different. It's a different kettle of fish here, really. They are strong. They've got a bit of backing as well too, and they're physically strong. That's been a concern of mine for some time about Celtic. Celtic still can play some beautiful football, but you've got to counter that, or add to that there, I should say, as much as anything else, by being a bit physical. You know, when teams are physical against you, you've got to be able to do that. So Brendan's right in the sense that you have 29 games to go. Celtic have been there before. They just need to settle down. Lost that game. Yeah, they've lost their way a little bit here at this minute. Hearts are riding high. A long way to go.
A long way to go. The last time Hearts were so far clear was 2005-06 under George Burley. They ultimately finished second. Do you feel, Martin, though, having said that about Celtic, and we know where Rangers are at the moment, it's up to Danny Rowe to try and inject something into them. But is this the season, more than any other season, that we're in pole position to see a disruptor?
Yeah.
And that is Hearts.
Without a doubt. This is it, because Celtic are at this minute not that physically strong, can actually lose games, whereas before that they looked invincible in matches. Rangers are no threat whatsoever, although the new manager coming in, I think, like you, Jim, I think he maybe can do something in time. But they are so far adrift, it's untrue. But this is the moment. This is the time now for Hearts. They've gone 8 points clear at this minute. And that is a decent enough lead, really. And their confidence is growing, and it will grow from that victory as well too. So all things are happening for Hearts. It's great. Whereas just at this minute, Celtic are just in a wee bit of trouble.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. This is the best time for any side outside the Old Firm to go and win.
Martin Keown, I'll get you in a second, but Derek McKinnon spoke to us last week, the Hearts boss, and he spoke about the potential prospects of being that disruptor.
I always believe that there's a chance that a club out with Rangers and Celtic can have that special season. Now, whether it's Hearts, whether it's other clubs that can achieve that, but I think you've always got to try and work towards that. And we're just trying to keep our head down and just work hard and improve as we go along. If we can continue to improve day to day and improve our performances, then of course we feel there's more wins in us than not. But there's also defeats in us, and a belt in the mouth round the corner if we don't do our work right, and we just have to try and keep doing our job well.
I mean, your boy was up in Scotland for a while, Martin. You know the Scottish game. You've been up there a lot, and I know that, and you and I have often spoken about it. I mean, this would be seismic for the game up there if Hearts at the end of the season are to get their hands on that Scottish Premiership trophy.
I think it's refreshing, really, to see that there's a bit of a change of the guard. They've won 8 games this season. This is not, I don't think it's going to go away. They've got to keep the consistency going. Maybe Brendan will start to try and chip away a little bit to sort of, okay, we've done it many times. Have they got that about them? And there's lots of games to come, of course. But to have beaten Rangers, to have beaten Celtic, these are big scalps. When you play, I mean, maybe it doesn't happen at Hearts, but pretty well out everywhere else, that they bring such a massive support. Celtic, Rangers, they just overtake, don't they, the home ground. You're pushed out of your home area. Certainly we're at Partick Thistle, which I've mentioned on many occasions. That for me was quite striking.
Yeah, but Martin,
they dominate.
O'Neill, did you not sense yesterday, as I did, that there is an absolute anticipation? There's a pulse at that football club at Hearts. Now, they expect...
But it's good.
They expect performances, they expect results. They feel it in their bones that something's on.
And the Hearts are historically a very, very fine football club. In fact, outside Ibrox, I felt it the most intimidating ground to go to because the crowd are right on top of you. So they've got a little bit of money behind them. Tony Bloom was up there watching it. They've got this, and they've got momentum going, which is a big, big thing at this minute. And with Celtic just struggling a little bit and Rangers nowhere to be seen, then this is an opportunity. But it is, as we talked about at the top of the programme here about Arsenal, a long, long way to go. And there is a long way to go, but there is momentum gathering at Tynecastle.
But Martin, I mean, you were Celtic boss. And of course, I remember the time, and you had huge success. So have Celtic had huge success. The fact that Hearts haven't in the league for so long, will that count for a lot? Now, by no means do I want to disappoint every Hearts fan in the land tuning into us this lunchtime, but might that end up being the difference? That in and around Tynecastle and amongst they don't know what it's like. The know-how to go out there and win that damn title.
Yeah, but
Celtic have got that, Hearts don't.
Yeah, but that's the excitement about Tynecastle at the moment. I think this is it, going into the unknown. I mean, there was a feeling, the feeling among Hearts fans that they could get something against Celtic. This is the point, which hasn't happened for a long, long time. To sustain that, Jim, is going to be difficult. It is definitely going to be difficult. But you might as well dream with it as you go along.
Yeah.
I think Ali McCoist really summed it up well. For Scottish football, for Scottish football and won it, is that for Hearts to win it would be amazing. Paradoxically, you would think that if Celtic and Rangers do not win it, then you think to yourself, well, where is Scottish football going? But it's an interesting.
I think it would be brilliant for the game up there if Hearts win it. I know where your heart lies, Martin, but does your head lie for the good of the game in Scotland?
No,
for Hearts to win it.
Yeah, for the game itself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It would reinvigorate the SPL.
Exactly. I wonder if Hearts fans listening this lunchtime are confident about it. Many of you will be listening. Many of you might want to come on. I mean, let's hear from you. I tried to prize it out of Mr. Keown that Arsenal looking very, very good to win the title down here. But what about up there? Do you now have a feeling that this is going to be your season? Tony Bloom pumped in 10 million. Behind the scenes, the club's vibrant. Certainly on the field, the club is vibrant. And you guys are enjoying every single moment. So much that you think you'll win the title, even if we're not even into November yet? Let me know. 03717 2233 44 810 89. Hearts, glorious Hearts. Going to talk boxing. Fabio Wardley coming out on top against Joseph Parker, of course, at the O2 at the weekend. Spencer Oliver working his tail off for talkSPORT. I was watching Spencer at close quarters, did a great job. Spencer's going to join us before we go today. He's going to join us just after this. And this is Hearts. Hearts at the moment 8 clear of Celtic at the top of the Scottish Premiership, and they swept Celtic aside yesterday at Tynecastle by 3-1. Do the Hearts fans feel, with Tony Bloom's multi-million investment in the football club and the team going so well under Derek McInnes, that this could be the special season that they land the Premiership title? Kyle is a big Hearts fan. Kyle, good afternoon. I'm with the two Martins, Martin O'Neill and Martin Keown. What do you think, Kyle? Is it on?
Good afternoon, gents. Thanks for having me on. Love the show.
Thanks,
yeah,
Kyle.
I was at the game yesterday, and I think just to see the effort from the Hearts players yesterday.
Brilliant. Yeah, we just lost Kyle there. The effort, though, it's standing out to you, is it, that the players are putting in a shift?
Yes.
Is it your belief, though, that everything is right off the field as well, that Tony Bloom has given the club a real lift as well with his injection of cash?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's £10 million he's put into us so far, so not a great sum of money in the grand scheme of things, but he brings the analytics company, he brings the wealth of knowledge that he's had from Brighton as well. I think he just brings a little bit of belief. He said when he spoke to Hearts fans at the start of the season that he wants us, or believes that we can win the league within 10 years, and it looks like he might be right in the first try. So, yeah, lots of positivity around Hearts just now, and can't wait to see how the rest of the season unfolds.
Brilliant, Kyle. Thank you for that. Phil, do you think you win it this season? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Phil. Is it on? You're 8 clear at the moment. Can you see yourselves winning this?
Definitely. Phil the Jumbo says they're going to do the Leicester, mate.
They're going to do a Leicester. Martin O'Neill is here. Nobody better to talk about that than Martin. Martin, what do you think? I mean, Hearts fans, every right to be upbeat this lunchtime.
Yeah, Phil, your view before the game against Celtic and your view afterwards. Were you apprehensive about the game, excited about the match, and think that you could win? Because that's the viewpoint that's coming across from Hearts fans, that they actually went into this game with great optimism about being able to win it.
Let's ask David that, a Hearts fan. David, did you think the answer to Martin's question is yes? You did feel optimistic going in against Celtic, or did you not? You tell us. Hello, David.
Hi, Jim. Sorry.
No problem.
Are you doing all right?
Great, thank you. Were you optimistic going in against Celtic?
I was a bit nervous, to be honest with you. It's never easy to beat the Old Firm, no matter where they play them, but the feeling I get, you're talking about Arsenal. I would rather be in Arsenal's position, because simply you play each other twice, whereas in Scotland it's designed to suit the Old Firm, but you play each other 4 times a season. So they can claw the points back quite easily.
What do you think? What do you think? Martin O'Neill's here, David. Here's Martin.
Yeah, I think that I'm not so sure that when they were playing 4 times with each other was designed to help the Old Firm, but it probably would do. In all honesty, I think it was the number of teams that were involved in the league at the time, and they were trying to stretch it and get so many games. Do you remember when we had the towards the end of the season, you had, 33 games, and then you had the extra 5 matches, which still exists, I think. But overall, your own view on Hearts, can they do it?
I think it's tough. It's a tall order, but like you say, keep believing and keep dreaming.
Absolutely.
Uncharted territory, that's what it is, David. Thank you so much for joining us. This gentleman to my right has come into not so much uncharted territory, very familiar territory, because we're in the company, the two Martins, of Spencer Oliver. Spencer, good afternoon to you. Saturday night, Fabio beat Joseph Parker. What did we witness?
Yeah, we witnessed something very special, didn't we? I mean, Joseph Parker went into that fight as a heavy favourite, not just in my book, but I think everybody felt that he'd been boxing in a different class, world class, and Fabio Wardley was very much the unproven, but boy, did he rip up the script. I mean, what a performance from both guys. They showed heart, grit, determination, left it all in the ring, and the finish was absolutely sensational. Controversial, by the way, but sensational.
Do you think Fabio is the man to go on and topple Usyk should he get the opportunity?
Well, Fabio now has beat the man who beat the man. So he deserves that shot. He's the WBO interim champion, a WBA interim champion, number 2 with now the Ring magazine. So he is the guy the next guy to challenge Alexander Usyk. If Usyk doesn't accept that challenge, he will have to vacate the WBO title. So the likelihood is we get Alexander Usyk, Fabio Wardley, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, by the way, Jim. We're talking about a guy here that was a white-collar boxer 10 years ago. Yeah. I know everyone's heard the story now, but it's just like it's unheard of in our sport. You normally have that history and you go through, the procedures of boxing as an amateur and picking up titles and whatnot. This guy has learnt it, his trade on the road, on the job. Yeah. And it's a remarkable story. It really is. It's a real Rocky movie.
It is. I mean, earlier on, Spencer, the two Martins and myself were in conversation with Frank Warren, who promoted the event on Saturday night. Frank promotes Tyson Fury. He also promotes Fabio Wardley. And Fury's already said he wants Usyk again for a third time. So we put it to Frank. How do you see it, Frank? Might you have to prioritise either Wardley or Fury when it comes to fighting Usyk?
Well, they said before the fight they would fight the winner. He did say that. He absolutely said that, and that's what they put out last week. The WBO have ordered that, so it's up to him. He either fights him or relinquishes the belt, or he gets stripped. Now, I hope he doesn't do that, because I generally feel this fight would fill Wembley up. It would now be a big fight. He sold 28,000 tickets at Ipswich on a night where the weather was dreadful, but he did that. We had a really good turnout on Saturday.
Yeah.
And this is now a fight. It's not like something where they think, he's going to get.
Sure.
It's a really one-sided affair. He has the power and has shown it on 19 out of his 20 fights. He's shown what he's all about. He stops people.
That was Frank Warren speaking to us earlier on. Spencer, we know that even with a mandatory, it doesn't always often happen. What do you feel? What does instinct tell you here at this stage? Is it going to be Wardley next, or it's going to be Fury next for Usyk?
Well, look, the commercial fight is obviously Tyson Fury. That's the fight where they probably make bigger numbers, get more money. But I spoke to Tyson Fury, actually, at ringside there, and he said, look, I've got no appetite for coming back boxing. I've achieved everything I want to. I keep saying it. I'm retired. I've got a family. It's a young man's game. I'm not interested in stepping back in the ring anymore. I'm here to watch Joseph Parker, a good friend of mine. Hopefully Joseph comes through, but I'm done. That's pretty much what he said. He said the Gypsy King.
He says that one week
done.
and then he says something different the next.
But he's been saying it quite consistently of recent times. And I think that he might be just at peace with himself. He's achieved everything and more that he wants to achieve. Look, we would love, of course we would, as boxing fans, of course we would love to see Tyson Fury back in the ring. I think he's great for the heavyweight division. But at some point, Jim, 37 years of age, he's been boxing 25 years. You go, you know what? You've earned your right. He's got untold money in the bank. What is he doing it for? He's won world titles. He's achieved everything he's wanted to achieve. I mean, of course, the Alexander Usyk fight is the only guy to beat him and beat him twice. That will niggle away at him. And that might be enough temptation to get him in the ring. Or do we see the commercial fight with Anthony Joshua? They're the two fights I believe that he comes out of retirement for, if he comes out of retirement.
Spencer, 2 points to put to you before you leave us. The fight was stopped in the 11th. Wardley won it. Was it too quick?
No, it wasn't too quick. It was at that stage where the referee has a duty of care, and you're looking at it, both guys have been through the war, and it was one of those tough things. Now, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, back in 1982, he stopped a Korean guy in the 14th round. The guy collapsed and then later died in the ring. So they changed the rules then from 15-round fights to 12-round fights, which was the right thing to do. But they also introduced standing 8 counts. I'll tell you where I'm going with this, Jim. So they introduced standing 8 counts. And that was abolished in 1998, ironically, when my career finished after my injury. But they took the standing 8 count away. But had the standing 8 count rule still been in place then, the referee would have had enough time to look at Joseph Parker and decide whether he was fit or not fit to continue. Because he's got to make that decision in a split second. He's got a duty of care, and you go, you look at Parker, he's got kids, he's got a wife, he's got family, you go, we've got to save this guy and let him go home, because they're gladiators. They're going to say, of course I want to fight on.
Yeah.
So my point is, let's bring back standing 8 counts, because I think that if they'd done that, we may have been at a different turnout, a different outcome, sorry.
Of course.
You don't know that. But
what might be next for Joseph Parker? The loser on Saturday, what happens next for him?
He's going to go back. He's going to rebuild. He said that. He still wants to become world champion again. So he's still very much in the mix. So you had these moments in that fight. I mean, I thought what we found out about Fabio Wardley was that this guy is just cut from a different cloth. He will go to a place that not many fighters will go, because there were times in that fight where you go, he could have quit there, he could have come out there, but he didn't. He stuck with it and he stuck in there, and it was a memorable performance, brilliant performance. But for Parker, He's a warrior. Yeah, I'd love to see him back in the ring. What a good guy as well.
Absolutely. I may as well tell everybody listening, everybody watching, and the two Martins to my left, Talk Boxing is going to have a different look to it this week because it will be hosted not by Simon Jordan, who is he, but by Spencer Oliver. This is your big moment.
It is. I've said, look, Simon, sorry, the numbers are down at the moment, so we're going to have to take you out of the show this week, try and boost the viewers again, and then we might let him back next week. Who knows?
Yeah.
Spencer, I'll definitely watch it. Thank you very much indeed, Spencer Oliver, with us this Monday lunchtime as we bowl up to 12:30. The big question today, can Hearts break a 40-year-old firm stranglehold on the Scottish Premiership title? Rangers legend Ali McCoist has given his verdict.
Yes.
Hearts are 8 points clear after a convincing win over Celtic. Elsewhere, there's plenty of talk about Arsenal's title credentials south of the border. But what about Spurs in third? Could they win the league under Thomas Frank?
No. There's a few teams that are ahead of us. I think it's fair to say that. I'm only thinking of one game at a time, and let's see where we are in April.
His side are still unbeaten away from home following a 3-0 win at Everton, while Beto and Tierno Barry are struggling to find the back of the net for the Toffees. Here's David Moyes.
I think as managers we want to give our players encouragement. We want to make sure that we are incredibly supportive, but ultimately you're here to score the goals if you wear number 9.
Vitor Pereira says winless Wolves just need 3 points from somewhere to change the vibes at Molineux. The boss confronted fans as they chanted "sacked in the morning" after their loss to Burnley. And Cricket Australia has confirmed their skipper Pat Cummins is out of the first Ashes test with a back problem. Steve Smith will captain the Aussies in Perth in 3.5 weeks' time. And there's loads more Ashes build-up on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel.
It is now officially Monday lunchtime, just gone 12:30. It's Jim White, it's Martin O'Neill, and it's Martin Keown, and we are live on talkSPORT. Thanks for all the messages and the texts and the tweets coming in. So many of you tuned into us today, as you always do, and we're thrilled about that. We're coming to you live, of course, in a number of ways. Also on your TV, live on Samsung, Apple TV, even Prime Video. There is no escaping us. We are everywhere. And we're live in talkSPORT, as I said, courtesy of Selco. It's where the trade goes. This wasn't around in the days when Martin O'Neill and Martin Keown were strutting their stuff on the biggest stage of the lot in the English Premier League, but it's around now, and my God, is it popular. The Baller League UK. Tonight, professional footballers and content creators team up for the second season of Baller League UK. Matches will take place every Monday for up to 10 weeks until Monday the 29th of December on indoor football pitches at the Copper Box Arena here in London. And we've got all sorts of big names taking part in it, but as well as that, we have the chief exec, the boss man of Baller League, and he is Felix Stark, who has joined us live in studio. Felix, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you for
in
having me.
illustrious company with Messrs O'Neill and Keown.
That's true.
Good to have you on board. Tell us about this. I mean, you've got something here. For anyone not aware yet, how would you sum up the Baller League?
I mean, it's giving the most played stage in the world a stage. The most played sport in the world is not 11-a-side football. The most played sport in the world is small-sided football by factor 3, 4, whatever statistic you want to believe. So there's 400 million people playing small-sided football a month around the globe, and we're giving it a stage, and we're defining it also because nobody knows, is it 4-a-side, 5-a-side, 6-a-side, 7-a-side? It's not defined yet, right? The 11-a-side sport is very defined. How long is the pitch? How big is the goal? How many players? How long? The small-sided football sport is really more in the amateur world and not really professionalized yet. So that's what we're doing. We never thought it's going to become so big, but
hey, it has, and you'll be thrilled at that. I mean, the format was set up in Germany, hence your accent, I'm
Exactly.
guessing, and for footballers such as Mats Hummels and Lukas Podolski, I remember him, back in 2023. That's when you set it up. So these two really got behind it from the word go, and that has helped, hasn't it?
Yeah, it helped. I mean, after all, it was easy. I played national team for Germany in my youth years, U14, U15, U16, so you kind of know the people. It's a very small bubble, as you know, right? So you kind of stay in touch with them. Once I wrote it, I called some people, and it was easier to convince them than I thought. So, same here in the UK. Like, I called some people, and it was easier to convince them to take part of it.
Yeah, but it was successful in season 1, wasn't it?
In the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how do you define success? That's the question. No, for me, the quality on the pitch.
How do you define it?
The quality on the pitch is the only thing I care about. Like, the viewership is great. We reach, 2.8 million viewers each Monday or something like that. That's more than most Premier League games, I suppose. But I'm not after that. I'm after the quality on the pitch. We need to find the best small-sided football players in the country, and for sure, we haven't found them yet. I'm quite sure.
What is the team made up of? So I recognise the managers, the coaches. What's the team made up of?
Small-sided football players. They either got cut from an academy in the last couple of years because they're physically underdeveloped. That's usually a reason you get cut from an academy. That was the reason I got cut from an academy. So for us, they're perfect. The 1.65 high dribblers that maybe don't have the body of a John Terry, but in a 6-a-side game, you don't need the body of a John Terry. That's a beautiful thing.
Do you need a body of a Martin Keown or a body of a Martin O'Neill?
It would, yeah. I mean, it would help, yeah.
Yeah, it would help. I mean, I remember Troy Deeney last season. Am I right, Felix? He lost his head during one of the matches and was clattering into people. Do you remember that, Martin?
I saw it, yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what... This is A different sport, and B, those people playing this in Baller League, they are very good football players. Maybe they're not the best 11-a-side football players in the world, or they would have made it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you send tomorrow a championship team or League One team, they're going to get sent home. If they prepare maybe 6, 7, 8 weeks, we have a different game. If they just turn up tomorrow and say we play John Terry's team or anybody, they're going to lose 100%.
Right. Hence, Troy Deeney lost it a bit because there was a lot of skill in the
He's not,
in the game.
well, maybe 5 years ago he would have done better, or 10 years, but he's not fit, right? And if you're not fit, you cannot compete in any sport.
No, you're dead right, Felix.
Not in paddle, not in tennis. He's not
Troy,
fit.
He's well past it.
Was Troy actually playing?
He was playing.
Sadly, yes. Not for long. I think he got put off. Did
2 or 3 minutes or
Okay.
something like that. But again, if you're not on the top of your fitness level, you will lack in any sport.
So as a spectacle, then, you see this as a really, how far can this go? Because I remember playing in the Evening Standard soccer five-a-side competition. Remember in our day, and they had pros.
Well,
pros
not
play.
Not only that I was manager of Wycombe Wanderers, and we beat Arsenal along the way. We won it twice. Would you believe it? And we were just a football league team starting off.
I assume you've looked into all of that.
No,
Felix,
he wouldn't.
Felix, you're looking baffled. I am as well. This is news to me.
What sort of crowds do you get? I'm talking about the people who turn up for the matches, not talking about TV.
We only have 5,500 seats in the Copper Box,
right?
But we sell it out every.
You sell it out.
Yeah,
it is a great atmosphere. I mean, they love it. People love it.
Yeah, Especially, I mean, we ask a lot of our fans, like, is this your first sport event ever? And like a lot of the 18, 20-year-olds, it's the first ever live football game that they see. So now the question is, if that's the ever, again, you have pictures here. I was just at Chelsea because John invited me 2 days ago. But what are ticket prices? Hundreds of pounds suddenly, right? For us, it's $15-20, and they can watch football. So, yeah.
That's good, isn't it? Yeah, it's affordable.
Indoor football. It's great.
Yeah.
We're trying to democratize it again, right? And kind of what I grew up football. I went Saturday 3:30 to my grandma's house. We all watched it because we had 9 games.
Do you see it as more appealing, more exciting when you watch these small-sided games?
Yeah, I lost
more action.
Again.
No, it's the sort of thing I would like to go and see because
the skill factor's great.
No, I'd like to go and see players who've not made the grade, just playing.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, and now, like, you grow up in also different time like me, I cannot identify with the ball possession football that we play nowadays. And in small-sided football, to hold the ball on such a small pitch is very, very difficult. So, yeah, I know losing is expensive nowadays, but I prefer the 90s. And we have data backing it up, in the 92 Euros. If you won a critical ball between box to box, your head turned 8 from 10 times towards the opponent's goal. Now, in the last Euro in Germany, if you win a critical ball box to box, 7 out of 10 times your head turns towards the opponent.
So to be successful in your game, then, you need to run with the ball, not pass the ball.
I mean, who am I to judge how to be successful? You need to ask the guys playing it. But I would say we still haven't discovered how to play our game. Some people say you need to have your goalkeeper very high and kind of he opens the game. And others say, you know what, you kind of get your number 10 as a more like, what do you call the last man back in the day, and kind of say, I'm going to play.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got content creators in there. YouTube, I love that phrase, content creators. What are we if we're not content creators? But that's who you have. People who are on the rise, who are known to many, many people throughout social media.
But they're not on the pitch, right? And that is very, very important. Our pitch is holy. Like, we're not going to let you step on the pitch just because you have 19 million followers. We don't care about that. You are more than happy to be a role model for the players, to teach them something, what helped you in your career, and more to be like an owner, president, chairman of that team than like involved in the day-to-day playing or operations.
Who won it last year?
Sharky. He says he has the biggest football podcast here, so it's up to you to judge that.
Oh, right. Never heard of him. But listen, if he has, good luck to him. Good for you, Sharky. What does this need, Felix? Does it have, the Baller League, does it have longevity? Is it here to stay?
That's also not for me to judge. That's for the fans to judge. If they are interested in it and they keep consuming it, then we have a right to stay. Right now, millions of people watch us. Thousands of people come to us. We sold out the O2 Arena in a couple hours last season for the final. So as long as that keeps going, it has a right to stay. Once the appetite goes away, then I'm more than happy to say, you know what, we're not coming back. So far, I don't see that happening.
You don't see that happening. You know what it is, Martin? It's different, isn't it? It's different.
Yeah, it must be.
The setup is different. The atmosphere is different. I watched it and I had a laugh, I must admit, Felix, watching Troy Deeney on that fateful night.
But they have this in rugby, don't they? So like rugby sevens.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's more exciting, isn't it? You see different runners. You see it's more athletic, if anything.
I mean, you just talked about boxing. Look at boxing. Without a very rich individual from the East, the sport would effectively be dead, right? And you have the UFC becoming the successor of that sport when it comes to audience. Market share is now way over 60-70% UFC when it comes to a yearly consumption, right? So there you have it too. There you kind of have it that people said, I'm fed up with the win 7 rounds, don't get knocked out, and you get the W. You suddenly had heroes like Floyd Mayweather and Klitschko. I don't want to say ruining the sport because they were one of the most successful boxers ever living. that doesn't make them the best boxers ever living. It makes them the most successful boxers. Maybe same for Pep Guardiola, no? Maybe he's one of the most successful coaches. He's certainly not one of the best
You
coaches.
think you could get him to manage one of your teams eventually, Pep?
Oh, no, man. As long as I have a saying, he's not going to be...
Wow.
Are you saying not only, let's say, players who haven't made the grade, younger players, but are you saying older players like Troy can come in and play in it?
No, I think, look, we had it in Germany too with Christoph Kramer, World Cup winner, 32 years old, ended his contract with Gladbach to play in Baller League because, of course, they didn't let him. And he said, you know what, I made my money. I reached everything I want to reach. I want to play now Baller. And the reason for it was I want to laugh again. I want to smile again.
Right, okay.
So he ended his contract with Gladbach mutually. I think they were also quite happy to get him off the payroll, to be completely transparent. But he played Baller a week after he ended his contract. So completely Bundesliga level player, just coming from the training ground into Baller. He wasn't a top 50 player.
Maybe Ronaldo, when he gets to 60, comes to join you.
I mean, Ronaldo in his prime would have absolutely destroyed. There is, again, this is a different sport. Small-sided football is like a John Terry would have not been the best defender in a small-sided football game ever. He's a very good manager. He's a very, very lovely guy, but he's not a small-sided football player.
I totally see where you're going with it, Felix. It's horses for courses, isn't it? Finally, what can we expect from season 2 then, here in the UK?
I mean, expect just progress of the quality on the pitch, right? That's all we care about. I'm sure there's players out there, we don't know their names yet, that are better than most championship players when it comes to the small-sided pitch. So we're trying to give them a stage. We're trying to find them. We had 48,000 applications of player trying to...
Great opportunity, isn't it?
Great,
if the door's shut in your face in the professional game, you've got another opportunity to get back in.
Yeah, suddenly there's... I would even say now, suddenly you have two options of becoming a pro football player. You have the 11-side game, and because they make decent money, right? They don't make the millions yet, but...
Do you know one of these two as managers?
Final point.
O'Neill and Keown. They'd be great, wouldn't they?
Are the players found for the coaches? So they're found. Do they inherit players, or do they try and go and find out about players?
Same. So both. So when you have Micah, he called me. Micah Richards has a team together with Daniel Sturridge now, and he called me 7-8 weeks ago in the off season. He was like, "I hate you," and I was like, "What's your problem now? Why do you suddenly hate me?" He's like, "I'm in Barbados." I hope he was in Barbados, but some tropical island. And he's like, "I don't get to rest. I'm on my phone trying to convince people to get to me to come to my team." Okay. So I think a lot of these people became hyper invested. John Terry's every day at the Chelsea ground looking who's about to get cut and take him over. I hope I'm not saying something wrong and John's going to pinch me. But they are very much invested in.
You maybe need a transfer window when deals can be done.
We did that, and that's why. And
I know someone who could do transfer day.
Yeah. The Baller League window. The window's due to slam shut very shortly. Listen, terrific. Baller League Chief Executive Felix Starr, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
I can see you two get involved in this in a management side. Can you not?
No, who is Sharky?
Sharky is a content creator, they call it, influencer.
Oh, an influencer.
Yeah. Like KSI, you know KSI?
We'll tell you who Sharky is in a second, Martin, as well as Angry Ginge. Anyway, it all starts tonight, the second season here in the UK. We're live in talkSPORT. then and this is now. And right now, many Wolves fans must be wondering, are we going to be spoken about today? Are they going to talk about us and the predicament we find ourselves in? Wolves fans, I'm afraid, whether you like it or not, we're about to oblige on that front. At the weekend there, Wolves 2, Burnley 3. It is a tale of woe if you are a supporter of Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Premier League right now. Played 9, won none, drawn 2, lost 7. And Vitor Pereira, only last month, was given a new 3-year deal at the football club. But they are winless in the league and rooted to the foot. And at the end of the match at Molineux, Pereira himself had to face something of fan disruption. Many of the fans not happy with what they'd just witnessed. When it looked like they might get something out of the game against Burnley, they threw it away. This was Pereira post-match.
I know his football. I have a lot of experience in my career. 2 months ago, they sing my name because in the last season, if we are in the Premier League, it's because we did a fantastic work together to keep the club in this league. But this is football, and I know that if we win the next 2 or 3 games, everything change. Everything changed. Is the frustration of the result. The reaction in the end is the frustration of the result, and I understand. What I want to say to the supporters is the team, without the supporters, it's impossible to achieve the targets. But united, together, we can do it. The players, they give everything. They gave everything in the game. They deserve at least to feel that the supporters, they are with us.
Martin O'Neill, Martin Keown with me. Martin O'Neill, I mean, this is the modern day game, isn't it? 2 months ago, they're singing his name, they're chanting his name, Vitor Pereira. Many of them now want him out.
Well, this is the game, unfortunately. You're talking about Ange Postecoglou getting a few matches there at Nottingham Forest to change the culture of the football club. Can't do it in a couple of weeks. Then you see now Pereira, who saved the football club last season, coming in and did brilliantly, turned it round, and to get that sort of abuse now at this minute is really, really difficult. You have to win football games. I've said this at the beginning of every conversation I have. Managers know that they have to win, but it does feel strange that you have to try and defend yourself and actually see what you've done only a couple of months ago. Before that, Wolves have had no luck whatsoever in games that there was a game. I think it was against Tottenham Hotspur that they could easily have won and conceded in the last minute, and that draw was like a defeat to them. Yeah. They could easily have won. They fought back from 2-0 behind against Burnley. They hit the bar with a free kick as well. That goes into the net. There's 3 points in the board, and just nothing is going right for them at this minute. But they still have the wherewithal to do it, and I would implore Wolves fans, stick with him because he can do it.
It's hard though, Martin, for him not to react. I mean, it's a testy situation.
Absolutely.
He had to be pulled away from the fans by some of his own players.
I understand that. He did differently to me when I was getting booed off the pitch at Leicester. I dipped my head and disappeared into the tunnel because most people would have wanted to beat my head off. But
did you ever confront fans?
I did stupidly I did, and honestly, it's only another one of my 15,000 regrets. It doesn't really matter at this minute. Tough times at Wolves, but I think just a win can turn things around for them.
I think it's worse in the fact that they've played in 2 consecutive games. They've played teams that have just come up and they've lost both games.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
You've lost to Sunderland, you've lost to Burnley. The fans are like, hold on a minute, this isn't really good enough. And it's always tricky when you front up your own fans, I mean, they can act as the 12th man, can't they, to help you in good times. But in bad times, it feels like, hold on a minute, they're actually helping the opposition. Yeah. And it's like, in a way, when you go and front up the fans, you try and draw a line under this, Jim. It's a really difficult moment for the football club. They've got to try and turn it around. When I look at the players that they've been allowed to leave this football club, they're actually sitting on a profit of £15 million in the summer of players that they've gotten rid of. So let's just sort of like tell these Wolves fans to like, okay, you've got used to Premier League football, but you're nowhere near now the team you had. They've got Semedo's gone on a free. They've got Ant Nouri's gone. Cunha's gone. Huge amounts of money, Jim. And he hasn't really been able to spend what he's wanted to spend. I do think this manager's is half decent. I think he did a very good job last year. And this might be, he's a fighter.
Are you both saying he should be given more time?
Oh,
for sure.
Without a doubt. But but I felt that Molineux was indicative of crowds when teams are struggling. So they're 2-0 down. They're being booed, heavily booed. Then they get a goal back. Then they get an equaliser. The atmosphere changes, and they are so close to getting that third goal. But what, 15 minutes from the end, when they hit the bar with the free kick, and then it changes again when they lose the match. So it's another loss. But that's it. Listen, I'm not advocating any manager to lose his job, and certainly for a manager who did so well with them last season.
Yeah, sure. You just never know what can happen. It's
going to be tough, though.
At the end of the game, his own fans, and he's having to be pulled away. I remember you were joking recently. You took a fair bit of abuse at one stage, and you were disappointed to see members of your own family dishing it out.
That was the biggest problem.
Martin O'Neill, brilliant as always. Martin Keown, invincible as far as you're concerned. Tomorrow, I'll be joined at 10 o'clock. We'll be on air by 11. I'll be joined at 10 o'clock by Alex Crook, and alongside us will be one Steve Bruce, and we'll focus a lot of our attention on Manchester United and where they're going under Ruben Amorim. Join us then. In the meantime, it's 1 o'clock this Monday lunchtime.